not like this one. They always seem too hard to touch. Dreams are real and they've just begun. They're yours if you want them that much. Some people put it off for tomorrow, the dreams that they open for today. It is now and we're proud to say we're reaching out to touch the sky. La 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 la. Close your eyes, concentrate, let your imaginations fly. We'll journey through a cosmic state. We're reaching out to touch the sky. Some people put off for tomorrow the dreams that they are hoping for today. The time is now and we're proud to say we're reaching out to touch the sky.
I'm searching high, not low, as high as the mind can go. I feel the breeze, it's heading our way. Hold on to your dreams, hold on to today. We've got it all and I believe it's right. Sharing our dreams and our passions under sky shining bright. We've got it all. Do you remember not long ago visiting dreams?
Who wouldn't know I'd be the one here by your side, holding your hands, being alive. We've got it all and I believe it's right. Sharing our dreams and our passion under sky shining bright. We've got it all.
I believe it's right. We'll share our dreams and our passions. The sky shining bright. We've got it all. I say, we got it all, and I believe it's right. We'll share our dreams and our passions. The sky shining bright. We got it all. Out of sight. We've got it all, and I believe it's right. We'll share our dreams and our passions. The sky shining bright. We've got it all. Out of sight. We got it all, and I believe it's right. We'll share our dreams and our passions. The sky shining bright. We got it all.
questions, even if there are no simple answers. Don't be satisfied to settle with your past adventures. Just remember what was there. Looking for the fugitives. So exciting we could share. Oh, this treasure friendship really is care. Treasure friendship. Reach with your heart, my little one. Beyond every night, you will find the sun. Life is a wonder, and it's just begun to find the love in you. Time invites you to dream and grow. Life invites you to seek and know. To believe what your dreams are of brings the heart of your dreams toward love. Reach with your heart, my little one, beyond.
Hello everyone, welcome to another Tinfoil Tuesday. How's everyone doing? I hope your week is going great. I see we're already on a hype train. Reminder that if we get to level 5 today, I will don my tinfoil armor, and it will protect me from the stupidity that we are going to feast our eyes and ears and other holes upon today. How's it going? Let's see what I missed. Overthought with 50 bits says, not conspiracy related, but here's a mini YouTube poop I made of you explaining NFTs. A YouTube fart, if you will. Oh god. I shouldn't be involved in any videos ever again. No, I'll look at it in a sec. Starry Beauty, thanks for 9 months. This sub-baby's name is going to be Farkle McGinnis. Cosmic Cats, thanks for 28 months, says, Sup Hannah, hope week is going well for everyone. Hope it's going well for you too. Meru Sama says, Hey Hannah and Stanas, I have an amazing news. For those who don't know, a few months ago, my cat Nicole ate and vomited a weed cookie. We rushed her to the vet as soon as we could, where we learned she had early stages of kidney disease, unrelated to the cookie. Today we took her to the vet for blood work, and her numbers are almost back to normal. Vet said as long as she has her prescription food, she can live for years with no problems. Crazy to think that a night of tripping balls, I assume that was supposed to be something along the lines of possibly saved your cat. I assume, there we go. Possibly saved her life. Let's all give tons of biddies for Nicole and get a maid outfit for her honor. I hope you do. Tina 2, thanks for the raid. Welcome raiders, I'm Hannah. I'm a trans leftist variety streamer. We look at conspiracy theorists on Tuesdays and talk about why conspiracies aren't true and why people believe them and just have a good time. So that's what we're doing today. Get your bingo cards ready if you'd like, by the way. We're doing a conspiracy bingo as we do every week. What else happened? Vice, thanks for 14 months. Gnome Pickles says, opening the stream with hype, let's go. Mew the Best says, cat made hype. Got a long way to go. 63% to level 3. Clockwork Fan, thanks for gifting a sub. Devolio11, thanks for 28 months. Terradona, thanks for gifting 2 tier 1 subs. When Zero Suit stream? Like Samus's Zero Suit? If someone wants to buy me one. Bumble Homestead with 200 bits. says, I don't know, there's a lot of stupid, so much foil needed. Bong the Ripper says, sub-baby time with 18 months. This sub-baby's name is going to be Gargantuan, the average-sized man. He's average-sized. He's actually a little on the short side, but... MH Darkbeast says, time to celebrate. The gel overlay for my mattress that the community helped pay for will be delivered tomorrow. Sweet relief. Also, Jake just watched this, but it's right up your alley. It was funded by a cult. For context, the film is actually a vehicle for the teachings of Ryuho Okawa, head of the quasi-religious sect, the Institute for Research in Human Happiness. We've seen things from this cult before. I don't think we watched the whole thing, though. I will save it. We haven't done Cult Watch in a while. So that would probably be good for a Cult Watch, if I can find my folder for it. There we go. Cults. Saved. Thank you. Let's see. OAS Music, welcome. Meek with 45 bits says, if you had to guess, why do you think Crowder's wife divorced him? Was he cheating? Kind of seems like the type. Or is it because he's just a dumbass? Nemesaur, thanks for gifting 10 tier 1 subs. Thank you so much, getting almost to level 5. Starry Beauty, thanks for gifting a sub. Buttershave says, will you wear any reasonable costume if we buy it for you? I don't see why not. Sure. I like costumes. Costumes are fun. 82% to level 5. So we're very close to the tinfoil outfit and almost halfway to the maid outfit. Bittergrin says, my money's on dumbass. Any thoughts on T7FKER? Was that supposed to be Tucker? Like the Tucker Carlson situation? Fuck him. Lennon Cat says, the question is not why did his wife divorce him, but why she agreed to marry him entirely. Yeah, maybe he hid the shittiness for a while. Some people can do that. Fennikagami says, saw Mother's Basement review this anime. It's a series, and it's wild. Took him multiple vids. You didn't post a link. Oh, you meant did you mean the cult one? I assume you mean the cult one. Sorry, I forgot it was anime. Gnome Pickles said, sorry, something's weird on, there we go. The best part about Crowder, or maybe the saddest but still funny, is apparently other right-wing creators are circling like sharks and ready to devour him for their own ratings. Good! Fuck him! Mr. Blast, thank you for gifting a sub. Appreciate you getting us over level 5. My own father-in-law has done it. He's gotten us to level 5, so it's time for the tinfoil. 8% to level 6, if anyone's interested in maid outfit. I know we've done that a decent amount this month, though, so I assume people are tapped, which is fair. Let me get all this stuff on, and we will begin bingo. Is that actually Baja's dad? Yes. Mr. Blast is my actual father-in-law. I just call him Dad, though, because my biological dad's a piece of shit, and he's not my dad, so Mr. Blast is my dad. Mew the Best says, I hope we have good vibes this stream. Reminder, you're all loved. I hope so, too. I hope for all the best vibes for all of us all day. Where is my hairbrush? Oh, where is my hairbrush? Gregory Term says, Tucker Carlson fired. Fuck yeah. First name bunch of numbers says, I personally am keeping my powder dry for May 1st. What's May 1st? Powder dry for May 1st. I don't understand. Ah! Gnome Pickles says, the entire Blast family seems to be full of rad people, and I am so happy you joined such a wonderful group. Gnome Parasocial moment. 169 viewers. Nice. 14% to level 6. Oh, I don't want to clip my hair in this. It's a snap. I know I'm going to get my hair in. Okay, gloves and we're good. We are playing bingo, indeedly do. So get your cards ready if you'd like to play. And we shall jump into it. 14% to level 6. There's still 2 minutes on it, but we'll just let that go wherever it goes. Or if it stops here, thanks everyone for the level 5 train. So let's get into it. This is important, people. I don't know if you know this, but this guy has some news.
The word gives me the creeps, and I'm not speaking about the word of God. I'm speaking about the word masturbation.
We're starting off strong today.
This is a thing. This is an act that 99% of people on Earth, those that have access to the internet, at least, are actually engaging in daily, including both.
It's so cute to me that he thinks that people without computers and the internet don't masturbate. Like, I don't know how to break it to him. Masturbation wasn't invented in the 80s. People have been masturbating long before even the likes of dial-up. People were masturbating before you had to dial into a modem with an actual phone. People were masturbating in ancient Greece. People were masturbating when we were basically just monkey people. People, mammals, love to masturbate. I don't know if you know that. It turns out if you give an animal appendages and the ability to stimulate themselves in a way that makes their brain go burr, they're gonna do it. They're probably gonna do it at least sometimes. Now, I'm not saying everyone does. Of course, there are people who don't. I'm just saying, as a rough average, I think most people from time to time do the thing.
Both genders, not just men.
Mew the Best says, I feel as if this video is targeted towards me for some reason. MH Darkbeast says, did you see that Crowder is mad at Candace Owens apparently for extortion and promises to sue anyone who's too mean about his divorce?
I have been living with a proverbial boot on my neck for going on years now. Since 2021, I've been living through...
Des Fidel, thanks for 6 months, says coming into chat and Hannah's talking about masturbation. Seems right. Yeah.
What has increased...
Thanks for the level 5 hype, everyone.
...been a horrendous divorce. Now, let me say on the outset, to be clear, there is no infidelity, any kind of physical abuse at all on either side. And no, this was not my choice. My then-wife decided that she didn't want to be married anymore.
Can't imagine why. And to be clear, maybe she wants to be married. What she definitely doesn't want is to be married to you. Moira Soma with 24 months, happy 2nd anniversary, says, to the people who gave me so much love yesterday, I did it. I did the MRI. I've never been so drugged, but that Xanax made me fearless. And they even put the radio on an 80s channel and they played the best music. Running up that hill is what I needed to hear. Those 40 minutes flew by. Oh my god, I'm so relieved. Good! I'm so glad. You were so worried about that. I'm glad the drugs helped. And the jams. Particularly the jams. The jams and the Xanax probably fed off each other.
And in the state of Texas, that is completely permitted.
Wait, is he complaining about, like, his wife being able to divorce him? The implication there is, my wife should have been forced to stay with me. I don't think she should have had the right to leave, is the implication of that sentence. If the only way you can get people to stay is by the law, then you're a cunt.
It's been the most heartbreaking experience of my life, what I consider to be my deepest personal failure, and just so you know, my opinions on parenting and families have not changed. I've always believed that children need a mom and a dad, that divorce is horrible.
Man, you should have been a better husband then, huh?
And I still believe that children need a mom and a dad and that divorce is horrible. But in today's legal system, My beliefs don't matter.
Get fucked!
In Texas, divorce is permitted when one party wants it, period.
Yep, that's
so for
good.
well over a year.
That's a good thing. That's a thing we should all be happy about, because no one should be forced to be in a situation they don't want to be in. Like, marriage is consent, right? You need to consent to be married. You should have to consent continually for it to continue. Lennon Cat says, the real irony would be if she left for homophobia, not his, but hers. Maybe she's one of those people who can't be with a bisexual person. He did admit that. He did admit that, so.
Well over a year, in the best interest, as well as physical safety of my children, we've decided...
Steven Crowder did imply at one point that he had fought some bisexual demons, so it's entirely possible that Steven Crowder has sucked more dick than me. Now, in fairness, my number is 0, but, you know, if he did it once, all I'm saying.
To keep this issue private and to resolve it privately with the appropriate attorneys, what have you, legal jargon. Now, in all this, one thing I want to be really clear about is certain. True north here is that my children are blameless. Completely without fault.
Was anyone going to blame your kids?
And so we decided to resolve these issues privately, as it's in their best...
Yeah, these gloves are pretty bad. I gotta look for... I have other ones, but I'm looking for other tinfoil stuff. I actually looked for a jacket that I thought was really nice, but I had to return it because it was too small when it came in.
Interests, both emotionally and physically, to do so. Now, the other issue is, and this is something that I've kept private.
Is he gonna get into, like, weird MGTOW shit now? Like Terrence Pop divorced dad energy, where he's gonna blame the court systems for the fact that it's legal for his wife to leave him and not have any sort of self-reflection on why she left? Just blame the court system for allowing it? Tea with Goblins with 100 bits says, bisexual demons, you say? I've been summoned. Good morning, Hannah. Hello, Stanas. Oh, hi. How you doing? I didn't know you were a demon.
For likely far too long. Many other people knew about this behind the scenes. Some, not all, but some of them in positions of power, influence, leverage, knew of this. They also knew that the safety of my children included keeping it private. So if you're...
How? Overthought says he's divorced now. I look forward to his Sobsit arc and his contributions to Sobsit Watch. Mew the Best says, feel free to send the lesbian demons my way.
Familiar with the idea of extortion, then you know the feeling well. Now, some of these threats were so thinly veiled that I'm frankly surprised you didn't all guess immediately.
Steven has a lot going on, I guess is the best way to say it. He has a lot going on, and that should be clear because
Fight.
people don't do stuff like this if there's not a lot going on in their lives. I would like to implore my audience.
I'm assuming this is when he, like, turned down the Daily Wire deal, even though it was very reasonable for him.
And everybody.
Reasonable on business terms. He nor the Daily Wire is generally reasonable, but the thing he was mad about was basically he would get paid less if his channel got banned from YouTube or suspended, which is reasonable because that's a revenue stream that would be cut off. It's a stream of, like, publicity that would be cut off from him and the Daily Wire by extension. But he was mad about that, even though it was a very reasonable part of the contract. Profane Priestess says Crowder absolutely wishes he could violently force his wife to stay with him, which isn't shocking to me, but he's been being weirdly open about the fact that he doesn't believe women are people with thoughts and feelings that should be respected. P.S. I would like one tall muscle daddy demon, please. I wish you luck in the search. Mr. Pizza Pasta with 17 months says Crowder wife caught the walk of mind virus.
That isn't paying attention to the situation, not to condemn him, but to pray.
Oh, I assume that's supposed to be woke mind virus. That would make
for
sense.
him. Sometimes people need a prayer. Sometimes people need a scripture. You know, Stephen purports to be a Christian. I am unsure at this moment if it is my place to say more than that. You know, maybe if I feel in further defense, something should be said, or maybe if I feel that the public has a right to understand certain circumstances.
I should do a Chud watch on the Chuds crying about Tucker Carlson's firing. Yeah, I gotta source a bunch of videos. I imagine a lot of it's gonna be on TikTok. I can probably find some YouTube, but what are they even gonna say? How can you defend this? Like, it's Fox's decision, and I'm sure they're doing it because he helped lose them almost $1 billion. More considering the upcoming lawsuits that are still happening with, I think, Fox investors, and I think Citadel is still suing Fox, so it might be, when it's all said and done, it might be like $1 billion they're out because of the stuff that Tucker and other contributors to Fox News said. So, what are you gonna say about that? They're not firing him for being, like, anti-woke or anything. They're firing him because he cost them $1 billion fucking dollars. What other thing is a business supposed to do? Cloud Wizard says it was obviously the deep state's decision, not Fox. Bed Bath & Beyond stock is getting delisted. BBYQ, BBYQ, BBYQ. I had not seen that, thank you. I saw the other day when they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, but I did not hear that they were being delisted today. Oh, the stock people are going to be great. We got to do a stock stream soon. MH Dark Beast with 50 bits. That's a Discord link for some reason.
Oh, my children have a right to privacy.
Okay, I would agree. They're children. Who's bringing your kids into this? I'm certainly not. Is Candace? I guess she's a Republican, so maybe.
Now, some other issues have been, or I should say, inferences have been more pernicious behind the scenes with demands and threats to use this information that they believe would be so publicly embarrassing to me and my wife at a difficult time.
Oh, it's my Discord
that it could be used, knowingly putting my children in harm's way. So, to those self-styled Christians, conservatives, and allies, well, not in my book. Now, if you find yourself...
My wife
I
left
don't wanna
me
get
change
into
her
details,
mind.
so this is going to likely be the only time I have to address this or want to address this. If you're asking yourself, hey, did X person or did Y person know? The answer is likely yes, which will be made alarmingly clear as this process of discovery continues. And it also...
I just realized he has a gun on his desk. Like, it's behind where I am. If you... Hold on, let me... He's just got a gun on his desk. Why?
So, by the way, makes me that much more appreciative of those who did know about...
I've talked about this before. I get gun ownership, especially handguns. Like, I'm not against people owning firearms entirely, necessarily. But the brandishing of firearms and just, like, making your, like, personality about guns and, like, look, I got a gun. That's fucking ridiculous. You look like a douchebag. You're the exact kind of person that shouldn't have guns.
about this, and in understanding the best interests of my family, my children, kept their word and used discretion. I can't thank you enough. Sincerely, I appreciate it. Won't forget it. It's pretty simple. I loved a woman so much that I married her. A woman who, despite all of this, I still love as the mother of my children.
I wish I felt good about this. I don't. That actually made me sad. Why do I feel sad for Steven Crowder? I don't like having empathy. Someone stab it out of me. Stone Corbell says, someone pointed out that talking about how you wish your wife didn't have the legal option to leave you with a gun on your desk makes you seem, well, not so put together mentally. Who would have thought? Stephen J. Neptune Man says, I will not laugh at a man getting a divorce. I will laugh at a man using his show to create a victim complex and pick a fight with another ghoul. And Gnome Pickles says, so since he brought up the kids, maybe the safety concern is that their dad decorates in modern Glock and seems to just leave them out and about. If I was a mother, I know I wouldn't want my kids around that. I'm curious really what this divorce is about. And it's not necessarily any of my business, but in a completely selfish way, I want to know, is it just because he's a cunt? Like, is it just because he treats her like shit because she's a woman and he doesn't respect women? Because that's the Occam's razor. Occam's razor is she left him because he's a cunt. Because he's a cunt. Sorry, Bitter Grin, let's see, said Candace. Candace didn't. He's the one having the bigger overreaction. Lennon Cat says, oh my god, the more they're talking, the more I'm thinking I might have been right on the bi thing.
And she wanted something else for her life. That's not my choice. She simply wanted out, and the law...
Wouldn't it be beautiful if she came out and did like a tell-all book about how awful he is? That'd be nice. I have some Spotify... Oh, sorry, not Spotify. I have some Audible credits. I'll throw down one for that.
Says that that's how it works. Now, of course, look, I get it. There are multiple sides to every story, but one thing that is undeniable in this case is that it's no one's fault but my own in that I picked wrong, and that's...
Zero accountability.
Certainly not the fault of my children.
No one said... Who said it was?
And I will say that what's in the best interest of my children is not internet drama, speculation.
Okay, here's my reading people attempt here. I think that he is projecting. I think that what is happening, and this is entirely speculative based on just, like, my bullshit pop reading people shit, okay? This is nothing. This is speculative. This is nonsense. I think Steven Crowder is probably a narcissist, but I also know that Steven Crowder is one of these right-wing people that really, 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 really thinks that housework and childcare are both women's work, and that men should have minimal to no involvement in housework and raising children, other than bare minimum interacting with your kids type stuff. So when he is continually saying, this isn't my kid's fault, it makes me go, no one's saying it is, but he's responding to someone. And often I find that when people are responding to something that wasn't said by someone else, they're trying to respond to themselves, or at least a voice in their head that's telling them something. So I'm wondering if in his narcissistic head, he was a bad father and husband, inattentive to his children and wife. His wife probably tried to communicate this to him in some way, like, hey, I need you to do more housework with me. I need you to help me with the kids more, because they're both of our children. Like, I can't be the only caregiver here. I understand that you make the money, and that's cool, but, like, you need to be present with these kids, and you need to actually parent. And I assume in his right-wing narc brain, he was like, no, fuck this. And somehow in his head, he twisted this to, instead of being, I was a bad father, and that's why my wife is leaving, I think in his head, he's like, this is the kid's fault. Everything was fine until the kids showed up. But he knows that that's not reasonable on some level, so he has to iterate or reiterate, this isn't the kid's fault, even though no one else thinks that. No one else thinks it's your children's fault that you are getting a divorce. But I think he thinks that, because he thinks him being a bad dad is inevitable and normal, and that his wife is just, like, expecting too much of him, even though it's not. That's my wild speculation on what's going on here. Dace Fidel says, this reminds me too much of how my sister's ex did that teenage boy thing of acting really shitty when he didn't want to be in a relationship anymore until she asks for the divorce and no one blames her for it. Woof. That sounds unfortunate.
Certainly not blatant or veiled shakedowns or dragging their father or mother, and I can't be clear on that enough, or their mother through the mud. And to anyone who tries it, I'm no longer going to pacify, capitulate, or sidestep, because I love them a whole lot more than I love you. And I will continue to do whatever is necessary to protect my children. Discussing the divorce any further on social media or on this show or in any public space is not what's best for them. I'll be handling this through the proper legal avenues and channels available as a matter of record, in which I have more than full confidence. So I'd ask that you understand the need for and respect our privacy, and what is obviously a pretty tough time.
Get fucked, Steven. All right. Oh, where were we with the conspiracies? Oh yeah, the masturbation guy. I should just restart this. We were only 20 seconds in anyway. Harold Elwelman says, from the Gospel according to Narcissus, for the Crowder so loved a woman that he decided to marry her, but she in the law felt otherwise, and so he was saddened, for he picked wrong. There you go, Hannah. Hope that helps with the empathy for him. Helps a little. Tea with Goblins says, conservative men will thump their chests about traditional masculinity and being protective providers for their wives and children, waving around guns and threatening trans women for the audacity of existing, but heaven forbid they wash a dish or change a fucking nappy. Nappies are diapers for other Americans. JP Black says, did you see the right-wing conspiracy about Tucker being Trump's VP pick? I don't think it would happen because Tucker could upstage him. I don't think that'll happen either. But who knows? Anyway, back to it.
The word gives me the creeps, and I'm not speaking about the word of God. I'm speaking about the word masturbation. This is a thing. This is an act that 99% of people on Earth, those that have access to the internet, at least, are actually engaging in daily, including both genders, not
shock and horror.
Just men.
Chat, did you know that people do the do with themselves? The horror.
And in the scriptures, when you connect only two scriptures together, just two sentences, you realize that you cannot receive salvation on the future day of judgment if you are a masturbator.
That's a shame. That's a shame. Fedekagami says, fun fact, a big part of how firearms replaced swords as the go-to weapon in Japan was that during the Edo period, the Japanese traded their porn with the Europeans for the guns. Humans have always been horny. Hell, that how prostitutes helped settle the West. They used money from all the horny, desperate frontiersmen they made bank on to fund building towns.
Christ in the book of Luke said that the kingdom of heaven is within you, so that would mean that even currently you don't have salvation within you.
Is my cum the salvation? Because it regenerates. That's fine. Sume with 34 months says, ooh, I got your salvation right here, bitches. You all know you want your daddy.
That's why once you become conscientious, or mindful, as some people call it, once you start to become spiritually in tune and learn the Word of God, interestingly, even those of other belief systems outside of the Hebrew Scriptures, even they have some level of mindfulness, even they have some level of repentance, even they have some level of conscientiousness and regret for sin. 1 John 3 verse 4 tells you, what is sin? Sin is breaking God's law. It tells you in Leviticus, here's the two verses, write this down if you don't believe that masturbation is talked about in the Bible and called a sin that will damn people's souls on Judgment Day, and it's currently doing it now. That's why when you masturbate, you feel disgusting. That's why.
What? They're so telling on themselves. I've heard MGTOW and like other like red pill manosphere types say the same thing. It's not normal to feel shame and disgusting if you're masturbating. That's some sort of weird maladaptive thing you have going on. That's not normal. You need to deal with that. You need to either get therapy or maybe learn some healthier attitudes towards sex. Because that's a you thing. That's not an everyone thing.
Why?
It's a big Catholic thing.
And if you don't, that's because you're literally still straight blinded by Satan. Ephesians 2 verse 2, it's a spiritual state. Living like an animal. Humans are divine beings. That fact has been hidden, and most people are blind to it. Their divine spark, their inner child, their purity within, any holiness and potential this world tries to snuff out. Usually most people's parents even attempt to do that, because they themselves have had it snuffed out by this wicked place. But here's the two verses. Leviticus 15:16, it tells you you're unclean if you have an emission of semen. Obviously, when you have sex, you have that, but you're also unclean. Still need to wash your body, and are unclean.
Unclean doesn't inherently mean... Okay, alright, this guy doesn't even understand the Bible. Bible is the only source of wisdom on the bingo card. So, unclean in this context means ceremonially unclean. In the Old Testament, they lay out a series of laws that have to do with visiting the tabernacle, or what is effectively the Hebrews' version of a church where they worship. And there are certain things that make you ceremonially unclean. Some of them are, I believe, being on your period, having intercourse, masturbating. Some of them might involve slaughter of animals. Anyway, the point is, in order to become ceremonially clean, you have to do certain things to enter the tabernacle. So they're not necessarily saying you will go to hell for this. That's not what that means. The Old Testament really doesn't do the hell thing anyway. What they're saying is, you can't go to church until you wash up after you masturbate. They're basically saying, don't come into church with cum hands. That's what they're saying. It's not saying you'll go to hell. It's saying don't come to church still stinking of masturbation. Which is a fair rule, I think. I think anywhere you go is probably a good place to make sure that you washed up, you know? After whatever you did in your personal business. Tea with Goblins says a short video, but maybe not appropriate for the stream right now, but Dr. Lindsay Fitzharris is a medical historian with a wonderfully ghoulish but very interesting YouTube channel. Here's a video about some truly nasty Victorian anti-masturbation devices. I'll take a look at that later, thank you. And Lennon Cat says, on a side note, I did read something about teenage rebellion. Also isn't a normal thing too. It's the result of parents not realizing their own children need to separate their identity from the parental unit. Then they act out of force to force that separation.
Until the evening, how much more so if you literally do it yourself. And then Ephesians 5 verse 5 tells you that no unclean person shall be saved. So there it is, you link the New Testament with the Old Testament, you cannot be a masturbator and receive salvation. But what I want to talk about in this video is different. I want to talk about why it's a sin.
Don't talk about cartoon characters
again,
pegging each other.
Write those verses down for yourself. Ephesians 5 verse 5, Leviticus 15:16. Write those down. Ephesians 5 verse 12 even is interesting. It's in the same book and chapter, the book of Ephesians, chapter 5. And you know what verse 12 says? 7 sentences later? It is a shame to even speak of things which are done of them in darkness. Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather reprove them. That's deep, because you know what? Wow, I just realized that. Praise God, praise Ahaya. You know what the word fruit is? You know what sperm is? It's seed. You know where fruit comes from? Seed.
Are you telling me this apple is made of cum?
The fruitless, the no fruit works. Is the author referencing such sins as masturbation and
I don't
all other
think
sins
so.
that are done in darkness?
I think you got a problem, is what I think is going on. I think you have a complex that you're projecting. Tucker White says, FYI, here's what the Bible says about jerkin. Oh, God. What the Bible says about masturbation. Onan knew that the seed should not be his, and it came to pass when he went in unto his brother's wife. Basically, in the Old Testament, if your brother died, you were supposed to take on his wife and conceive a child with her. So this is him having sex with his sister-in-law in order to impregnate her and make her his wife after his brother died. When he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest he should give seed to his brother, and the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also. So this guy pulled out, so God killed him. So God doesn't like pulling out. And yet here he is talking about things supposed to be done in darkness, right? If any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water and be unclean until the even. I assume that's supposed to be evening. And every garment and every skin whereupon this is the seed of copulation shall be washed with water and be unclean until the evening. Again, this is the Leviticus chapter I was talking about in regard to ceremonial uncleanliness. Note that it doesn't say, like, and you'll go to hell and you're dirty forever. No, it says, wash yourself with water, wash your clothes with water if you got cum on them, and then you're fine. It's literally just biblical instructions for cleaning up after you masturbate. The Bible has everything. Stone Corbell says the sin of Onan wasn't masturbation, it was disobedience. By law, he was supposed to impregnate that lady, but instead he pulled out, directly disobeying the law. The connection to masturbation is tenuous at best. Agreed. I would agree with that. Lennon Cat says the Onan story is specifically about greed. The brother's estate would then pass to the children born between Onan and the brother's wife. Onan wanted the property for himself. I don't remember that part. I definitely remember him pulling out and getting killed, because it was against the rules and not what he was supposed to be doing. But anyway.
Forgery, theft, extortion, TikTok, Tinder, and OnlyFans. Is the author exposing this stuff?
I don't think so.
That is so commonplace in our world today? Because the Bible is holy. I figured out a long time ago, if masturbation is a sin, the Bible probably wouldn't even use the word masturbation or any type of thing. They probably didn't have the word like that back then, so they would have had to even describe it descriptively with the...
You think they didn't have a word for masturbation until recently? Until English or whatever? No, I'm pretty sure there's a word for masturbation in pretty much every language, because it's pretty universal. Gnome Pickles says, the Book of Leviticus is our book weird Christian dude. You guys went ahead and made a whole new book where God had a son. Use your book, not ours.
The whole sentence, and they would have never done that. The holy word of God doesn't speak of such profane, blasphemous acts. That's why in the Bible it gives you overviews of sin. There's no law that says don't go and then list a long sinful action here, and I don't even want to give an example.
He's basically trying to justify why there isn't a part in the Bible that just says don't masturbate, because the Bible doesn't say that, because I don't think Christianity or Judaism really gives that much of a shit as far as the text is concerned. So they gotta justify it other ways, but whatever. This dude, after he gives up on the stupid ideas, you'll know when to end it. Will I?
After 20 years, I have come!
There it is. Joking Ouroboros says masturbation was invented in 1974 by John Masturbation II. His middle name was, Sloppy.
Because it tells you don't even speak of things like that.
Murder isn't a sin because the Bible definitely mentions that.
Don't even speak of things that are done in darkness.
Also, the Bible says a fuck ton of ways to attain salvation and some things to avoid. Oh, yeah, the Bible's a whole fucking thing. I've done a whole other show about that. That's the appendix to this video, is go watch The Bible Reloaded.
So it gives you overviews of laws to keep. It doesn't give you every possible way you could make an example of...
Oh, the Talmud explicitly forbids masturbation? That's a shame.
...breaking the law. And it tells you simply, don't deal with lust. That's one of the 10 Commandments. Don't desire the goods or properties and persons of others. Be you content with shelter and raiment. So here's the thing. Why is masturbation a sin?
Is it because my cum belongs to others and therefore it's a sin for me to steal it?
Well, it's very interesting to me. Through the spiritual attuneness that I'm able to have, and...
The spiritual attuneness? Exciting.
All of you are as well. I'm able to see that sin, all of the commandments God gave, is for our own soul's protection. Precept, Psalm 19:7, the law of God restores the soul. So if you keep the law of God, your soul is restored or converted. The Greek, or in that case the Hebrew, the Old Testament, the word is, in Hebrew, it means to restore, to heal. Like doctor activity, like a medicine. The law of God is like medicine for your soul. So the question is, why? And the answer is obvious, because sin destroys your soul. Any questions?
What if I recycle it? Then is it fine?
Any of you doubt or argue that? I would hope not.
Tucker White says, I would, Hannah, but it's too bizarre to hear you referred to... Not saying that. Though it's just as horny as chat.
So here's the thing. This particular sin...
I appreciate you trying to at least spell it wrong. Just don't bring it up, though. Please.
the sin of masturbation, even adultery, sleeping around, etc. But even worse, if you do it to yourself, it says, if the man that destroys his body, him shall God destroy. For all those people that took the blah, blah, blah last year. But also, the worst sin you can do is against your body. Don't you know that you are the temple of God, and the temple of God is holy?
Then why did he make a cum machine in me? I need to switch videos. This is going off the rails. Lennon Cat says, also the Talmud says a man is unclean even if he has heterosex with his wife. It's the omission that's the problem. Yeah. Yep. It's just about the stickiness. It's about the stickiness. Oh, same person did another video.
As my public service, I have to make this video. I'm in the middle of working on some personal stuff. I'm listening to some Stoic quotes from the ancient, the men of old. This one man, Seneca, from Rome. These were well-cultured men, and in this talk...
They were well-cultured men who never masturbated, okay?
In this teaching, I'm going to be talking about the fact that masturbation is actually...
Seneca had the bluest balls in the classical world, let me tell you.
...spoken of in the Bible. It's a myth, people that say that it's not. And if you are one of the 99% of everyone on Earth who masturbates all the time, you're going to go to hell.
All the time.
You're already
it's constant.
In hell. And I'm not going to share my opinion on why it's a sin. Just know that it is a sin.
Well, that's not a good explanation.
And if you don't believe me, you can go and read the scriptures for yourself. See, many people don't understand that actually it is mentioned in the Bible.
Why is he obsessed with this? That's a good question. I think a lot of it has to do with upbringing and shame. Shame being imparted on people from a very young age, being religiously indoctrinated into believing that certain acts are very sinful and should be shameful. And unfortunately, it fucks some people up. So, Meek says, Seneca also said that the wise believe religion to be false. Jumped in the middle of this, but is it not proven that whacking is important to avoid prostate issues? I think studies have shown that it can reduce the risk of prostate cancer to masturbate. I think the study was like once a week or once a couple times a month or something. I don't remember the specifics.
The weapons they use. I mean, this is
Oh, by the way, did the new emotes load yet? Wait, why isn't it working? Hold on. They did. Cool.
a twilight zone I'm living in, man. They got skulls and mutated babies all around the McDonald's, and it's officially their stuff. I mean, Anthony, can we handle this? Because I ain't loving it.
Alex Jones is a piece of shit, but I understand why he got an audience. He's wild. He's just a fucking wild guy spreading slander regularly.
We've been militarily targeted by the globalists for a long time. They couldn't take us in a frontal assault. The scientific technocrats took us down in a chem assault and a bio assault, and they've done a really great job. And what I'm telling you is the truth. It's not exaggerated. It's much worse than what I'm saying. There's no way to go over the full spectrum of this. And, yeah, it freaks me out. Yeah, it's crazy. But, see, I'm not crazy.
This is before he lost his lawsuit, yes. It's good to recycle. Oh, I know this lady on YouTube. I'm familiar. Yeah, this is kind of a montage of different crazy stuff Alex Jones has said. Sorry, Tucker White. Bro, compared to the existential nightmare of late-stage capitalism, hell sounds like a tropical paradise. It's true.
Crazy because I'm freaked out by bloated, dead DU babies and skulls with satanic lightning bolts all over their heads, showing they
How do I determine a satanic lightning bolt from a regular lightning bolt?
have the mark of the beast and were struck down by Lucifer. I'm not... The ones we're showing aren't even the shocking ones. We can show the skulls, the lightning bolts, show the arm with the pustules all over it.
You know, some guy also came up earlier. In fact, I think he's over there right now. And he was saying, it was actually, I hope we could use it in the video. He was saying, well, you know, I know McDonald's is bad, but when I see Kobe Bryant make a dunk shot and then eat a burger, it makes me think it's acceptable and it's cool. He literally said that.
That person.
That was definitely someone who wasn't fucking with them, by the way, because that's how people talk. Gnome Pickle says, and they've done a really good job. Why, thank you, Alex. Guys, he noticed. I worked so hard. And Bittergrin says, satanic lighting, bolt zag, normal one, zig.
It's
on film.
Moron under mind control.
Yes, exactly. But the sad thing is he represents a lot of people. Did you hear when we were talking about that, Rex, earlier?
Anthony, hold on a second before we talk to Rex. I want to
Yes.
get you guys to give us a tour on the outside of how it's like a concentration camp with barbed wire. And then
What?
these blob creatures that are the new mascots that you can look like them, or at least your liver can, if you eat enough GMO and enough silly putty additive. Here we go. So they're basically telling you that space aliens eat this.
But I wanted to show
What? Tea with Goblin says, I really need to stop listening to Tinfoil Tuesday while getting ready for work. All this talk of satanic rituals and masturbation has me reaching for my blackest lipstick and my tightest, sluttiest outfit. Sounds good. Go for it.
show you the entrance as well.
What are they gonna do? Fire you? It's fine.
Where we tried to enter, and we were able to enter yesterday, and we're thrown out and assaulted.
Those creatures on the side of the wall look like Fallujah babies, and I'm not being mean when I say that. They actually
What?
look like DU babies.
They are Fukushima children, but these are not the worst. I want to show you the true art. Before you walk in, here's the entrance here we're getting to, and I'll try to dictate it verbally as well. We're walking into the entrance surrounded by barbed wire, where they will not let you in. But then there are these creatures, representative of McDonald's. There is a skull at the bottom, as well as some weird Ronald McDonald stepchild or something that looks diseased and riddled with acne on its forehead and has a
Well,
friend
it's
here.
skulls. It's skulls.
They're scared of generic corporate pop art. Which is, by the way, any sort of corporate pop art is designed to intentionally be the least offensive, like least statement-y thing ever. Because the point of corporate art is to not make a statement. You don't want to say anything, you just want it to look away. And then people go, oh, look, a thing. Oh, look, McDonald's. They're reading into something that was literally designed to not be read into. Mew the Best says, I go away for 20 minutes and now McDonald's is Satan.
Go up, because it looks like DU babies. I'm not kidding. The one on the side right there looks like a DU baby. I don't mean to be gross, folks. That's what's going on here. The other side's a DU baby. You go around. I mean, you understand the conspiracy, folks? They psychically have a rule. This is not the average McDonald's employees, but the higher-ups. They must tell you what they're going to do to you beforehand.
That doesn't make sense. Spurious symbology on the bingo card.
Look, that one has an eye patch on. That one has scars. It's like Frankenstein. And notice how it's almost subliminal. It's not
They
real
all do.
obvious. It's all hidden in plain view.
I can't enter or they'll kill me, but there's
I can't go into this McDonald's. They'll kill me.
one with the eye patch up there as well.
God help us.
This is all around the building. I mean, let's be clear. This is all around the barbed wire building here. All of these. There's like hundreds of them.
And notice, this is like the mass hallucination of the globalists, where everyone's getting ugly and fat and getting cancer and zits all.
Thinly veiled anti-Semitism for the globalist thing. M. Scheffler, thanks for 20 months. What is a Fallujah baby? I don't know. I assume it's something offensive. I assume it's in relation to potentially, I don't know, children who are maybe born with issues because of chemicals used in an invasion at some point. I don't know. That's a guess. I do not know.
All over us, and just disease and just.
Fallujah baby is him talking about kids affected by depleted uranium rounds. I thought it was something like that.
And then it's just like they're just show.
Alex Jones really needs to talk about people getting fat. Yeah, that's weird. Does Alex Jones not know he's fat? Like, it's fine. That's fine. I'm also fat. But, like, have some self-awareness, Alex. Jesus.
Showing you what they're doing to you, going, it's ugly, it's sexy, hurt yourself, because they know subconsciously you know the truth. By the way, I've had dinner with top PR psychologists and psychiatrists that work for major. One of them worked for one of the biggest cereal companies. I was up in Minnesota once with Ted Anderson, and we had dinner with a radio station owner who worked for these people, and when they called him in and told him what they wanted him to do, you know, it was in confidence. I shouldn't even go this far because that was like 12 years ago. He may not even be alive now. He was really old, but I looked it up. He was talking about Smurf cereal and then the Smurf show. What they were trying.
The Smurfs haven't been on the air since like the 80s.
Trying to do to the kids with it, and I'm not allowed to say because it was in confidence. I'm just the weapons they use. I mean, this is a Twilight Zone I'm living in, man. They got skulls and mutated babies all around the McDonald's, and it's officially their stuff. I mean, Anthony, can we handle this? Because I ain't loving it.
No, I mean, you think about the reality. These people are shoving themselves full of the food chemicals, sure, but then look, there's skulls all around next to these deformed babies. I mean, it's just such a warped
Wait until they hear about Dia de los Muertos.
sense of existence. And look at all these people inside. The line, they said, is 30 minutes to an hour long sometimes, all to get their Big Mac.
My skin's kind of red with little brown spots. What does that mean?
Gnome Pickle says, I did a thing with the nameless guy and I cannot say anything specific, but I promise it was scary and involved high-level people.
Like me.
A McDonald's eater?
Which supplement is this one an ad for? The bone broth.
McDonald's, well, it had to be green with giant blown-out
Prehistoric Neanderthal bone broth. That's right, brothers. Come in here. You too can drink of the bone broth of our dead hominid enemies.
From the DU. I shouldn't even joke about it.
JP Black says, ah yes, the Smurfs bring back memories of the turmoil in the toy box vid.
But, I mean, when I saw those dead DU babies, I said, those look like dead DU babies. Then we Googled it and found out it's from a show about DU babies. I just can't get over that. No one cares. Oh, yeah, dead DU babies, arms with pustules all over them. Can we go to the video or go shoot some high-def photos of all that? I mean, what did you think when it turned out? What's the name of that show? Adventureland, CJ?
Adventure Time.
It's called Adventure Time.
Adventure Time. Tell us all about the DU pus babies. I'm going to come back and get to the news.
And half of them are mutated candy that somehow blended with life forms. And it's funny. It's a cool show. It kind of appeals to...
Isn't the backstory of Adventure Time that, like, a magic comet basically hit the Earth and imbued things with magic or something? I haven't seen most of Adventure Time, though I did like what I saw.
Preteens and adults at the same time.
Sounds like a ripoff of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
A magical nuke? Gotcha.
Cloudy with a Chance of Radiated Babies?
Yeah.
Well, don't you think radiated, mutated creatures, humanoids, I mean...
It was a Magitech WMD? Gotcha.
That's a great way to advertise McDonald's, isn't it?
Yeah. Diabetes and fat folks. And
in fact, let's look at some of the McDonald's customers here. Let's blow up that graphic and just kind of look at some of the folks there. You guys
Are we just gonna... Is he just gonna mock people for how they look?
Impromptu, out of the blue?
Absolutely. No, this is just to zoom in on an Adventure Time thing with a bunch of the characters.
Well, there you have the McDonald's customers, all different, like a Tower of Babel, fighting with each other with huge loudspeakers going, don't be racist, don't be racist, don't be racist. The only crime is being different. That's why we all brought you in here and made you different and then pointed out how you were different.
It's got evil and occult stuff in it, too, so it...
Oh, yeah. I noticed the perfect lightning bolts of Lucifer. It's all very loving.
Alex Jones is doing great. Whew. Stone Corbell says, these guys are like, don't involve me in your nonsense. I'm just filming it, sir. Alec Holland says, I'll not accept speaking ill about Adventure Time. Fair. Very fair. Just trying to decide which thing to do next. I have many options. How about Super Soldier Talk talking about looking glass technology? We'll do a bingo check after this video. option I need to choose is downstairs? Oh, it's a, okay, I get it. It took me a sec, sorry. Are you flirting on behalf of Baja towards me? That's weird. Yeah, True Theorisy, or whatever it's pronounced, I do have that somewhere. M. Scheffler says, alright, now you and Alex are passing me off. It was the Mushroom War, Nuclear Attack, Adventure Time is the best show, Pro-Love and LGBTQIA. How dare this slug mention it? At some point I plan on watching it all the way through. So.
Hello everybody, James Rink here. So, this is going to be a special report about the Guardians of Looking Glass technology.
So for those who don't know, Looking Glass technology is a conspiracy theory most often affiliated with QAnon. They believe that Looking Glass technology is a device for looking into potential futures. They think it uses algorithms and math and quantum computing in order to basically calculate the odds of things happening so well that it can effectively predict the future. Potential futures, at least. It's not real. This is believes sci-fi technology exists on the bingo card. But they nonetheless believe it. And by the way, when I say quantum computing, I don't mean like real quantum computing. I mean the Deepak Chopra alt-health bullshit woo-woo version of quantum that is basically synonymous with magic.
This information, well, really, rather, most of it was remote viewed through Dan McBolin, and I participated in this session to transcribe as well as to edit this down to make it in a format that's easy to understand. And I also assisted him up asking questions. So I can't guarantee the validity of any of this information here, just like we can't prove anything that's we're being told by this Guardians of Looking Glass. By the way, if you're not familiar with the Guardians of the Looking Glass video, I'm going to put some links in the description so you can go ahead and watch that to understand. If you haven't watched any of those videos, then the context of this might be totally skewed. So I could give you more.
Edie doesn't want your woo-woo bullshit in her core. M. Scheffler says, it's the show me and my son go back to all the time. It's the best. Great voice acting and the characters grow, change, and die. I'll stop fanboying now, I'm sorry. It's good. You're good. Gnome Pickle says, Petty Joke Junction. If this guy has access to quantum computing or understands it, then he needs to explain his shirt choices.
Commentary, or I could just go right into the information here. So I figured I'll just go ahead and do that and help save you some time. So here we go. The Guardians of the Looking Glass technology remains in a cloaked location hidden for security reasons. It is strictly operated by positively aligned military individuals only. There are other Looking Glass units on the planet, one at Montauk, Greenland, and with the Numbers Group in Pine Gap, and there's more than that. But Bill Brockbrader said the Looking Glass technology stopped working in 2012, but this is only partly true. It did stop working, but only for the negatively controlled Looking Glass units at Montauk and the J-Rods at Area 51, were all shut down in 2012. That's why they stopped sending information back in time, so people in the past, before 2012, thought they stopped working. They didn't. It wasn't really they stopped working. It's somebody just came in and shut it down. Okay, the group.
Why would you say that out loud? If you thought that you had secret intel, why would you be sharing it on the internet? You know what I mean? Like, it's not true, so it doesn't matter anyway, but in his own head, if he has secret intel, why would he share it on the internet where his imagined enemies could get it?
Groups who are positive still have access to this technology. It appears the Guardians of Looking Glass unit stops at 2030 because at that point there's no need to send more data back in time for continued use, since humans will be in charge of a positive timeline after that point.
You don't think people will just use the time machine looky thing just for funsies? No? Okay. It's the Matilda ending. We put it in the closet. We don't use the powers anymore. It's Ceci says, what a great book report on the state secrets.
In 2030, we'll be able to manifest our own destiny, whereas the Dark Cabal will not be able to manifest anything. A certain factor of metagene will enable us to get the upgrade.
A metagene? What the fuck does that mean?
allowing us to not need food. It will have instant healing, recovered suppressed memories for those of you in the secret space program, or stop aging, for example.
I guess I need to explain the secret space program. This guy's head of a YouTube channel called Super Soldier Talk. He's under the impression that he and other people are clones or time travelers or any variety of sci-fi plots, and believes that they were part of some sort of secret sci-fi military, secret astronaut super soldiers. They think they just had their memories wiped. So they think they're part of secret NASA or SNASA.
Example. The looking glass technology device appears to be in the shape of a Dyson sphere that is sitting on a big table in a dark room.
In the shape of a Dyson sphere? You could just say a sphere. A Dyson sphere is just a sphere surrounding a star. So a sphere. Also, the thing you're showing isn't a sphere. So that's not a Dyson sphere. That's not any kind of sphere. That's... What? This is word salad. This is definitely word salad. It's trying to use science-y sounding words and sci-fi words to technobabble bullshit. It is neither Dyson nor a sphere. It is not a Dyson sphere. Whatever.
The unit is 9 by 9 foot in size and supercooled with cryogenic xenon or argon gas. The cover on top is made of plexiglass, and if you look inside the interior...
Wow, plexiglass. High quality shit.
You can see a series of cylindrical stationary rings of about 12 inches in diameter, all the way down to the nano size. All the rings remain static. The rings monitor multiple timelines based on the input of the individual who has opened the yellow book cubes. Around the looking
Yellow book cubes? I'm missing key information.
glass unit is 9 of these, 9 by 9, again 9 by 9, 9 units that are 9 by 9 inches, yellow book cube devices. They are not yellow in color, but black in color. These
Well, that's confusing. Gnome Pickles says, hey now, Hannah, their order of transparent aluminum was delayed.
multiple yellow cube nodes
Hello, computer. It's one of the best Star Trek movies.
connect to the Akashic
I'm thinking of the scene where Scotty invents, quote-unquote, transparent aluminum in the 20th century.
hydrogen hyperfine transition line around planet Earth. An image of the future, which by the way is like the planetary consciousness, group consciousness of all humans. An image of the future then appears above each one of the smaller cubes and then is recorded by computers. The device is currently operated by a young adult of maybe 28 years old. He is the only one operating the equipment and understands the parameters of the equipment.
Why would only one person be operating this? Also, that's a picture of H.G. Wells' The Time Machine, or a version of it.
He does not understand the data, but he understands how to data mine the information. He uses a minimum amount of electronics while operating a custom-made computer with 8 screens that have smaller split screens so it shows more than 9 screens for all the different 9 different yellow cube devices. There are no marks or writings on any of the looking glass technology, but it seems to have connections to the positively aligned Wingmaker group. It seems to be this technology was created in the past, sent into our future, and then sent back in time again into our past. The projected timelines vary based on the individual Akashic records that are being shown on the screen. It only shows your future, but we all have the ability to create our own future. Computers are recording all
I have also seen Back to the Future Part 3.
this information that we're seeing.
I didn't take the moral at the end of Back to the Future 3 to be a scientific truth, however.
Or that the
It was just a wrap-up for a trilogy.
Users are seeing, and the data is being run through a quantum computer to see what is taking place of all the.
Doc, I brought this fax back from the future, and it's erased. Well, of course it's erased. What does it mean? Your future isn't written yet. None of ours is.
These cubes and all the people activating.
Back to the Future 3 is underrated.
Them. The Guardians want more people to watch their videos and subconsciously interpret the codes to upload new positive timelines to override the negative timeline. The ability to manifest positively is a lot easier to manifest compared to the negative. That's why they want more people to see and become aware of a potential future.
Okay, enough of this guy's rambling. M. Scheffler says, sorry, the mention rekindled my love of the show, and I'm tipsy. Check out number 2. Progressive quotes that prove Adventure Time is the most insightful show on TV. The second one. People get built different. We don't need to figure it out. We just need to respect it. I remember that. I actually remember that.
People get built different. We don't need to figure it out. We just need to respect it.
Nice. Lennon Cat says, my only guess is Yellow Book Cube device is a reference to this book. Yellow Book, History of Aliens on Earth. Could be. Sume says, this is all I can say, Hannah.
I'm not slowing you down. I like to keep my enemies confused. We all confused, Kay.
Okay, let's take a look at the bingo card before we continue. Only reputable source is the Bible. Believe sci-fi tech actually exists. Word salad. That's not how women work for the Crowder thing. Yes, good call. Was adrenochrome mentioned at some point? I feel like maybe it was. Aliens definitely have been. No? Okay. Line between Chudwatch and Tinfoil Tuesday thins. Thinly veiled anti-Semitism. Psychotropic Thunder, thanks for 25 months. Ancient Wisdom for the device being sent from the past. Did they say that? I guess I missed that. What was staggering levels of hypocrisy for? Definitely believe sci-fi tech exists, wherever that is on the bingo card. That's not how science works. Definitely had spurious symbology. Where the heck is spurious symbology on the bingo card? Where is it? Speaks to aliens regularly? I don't know. Give me numbers if you see them, because holy shit, I am having a bad time looking at lists today for some reason. ADHD moment. Spurious symbology. Where was believed sci-fi technology exists? Oh, we got it. I marked it. Cool. We have 42. Cool, cool, cool. The device was sent to the future, then back to us. That's not ancient wisdom. That's future wisdom. So literally the opposite. We're ancient in that context. Predictive programming? Yeah, with the Adventure Time thing, I'd call that. Bad parenting for Crowder? Fuck it. That counts. Sent from the past to the future? Did they say that? I feel like I... Fuck it. If that's what they said, I guess that's fine. Goddamn time travel. Skifazoa, thanks for 24 months, says it's been 2 years. You know what that means. The vaccine will kill me any day now. Yeah, I'm still waiting to. Not for you. For me.
Okay, I'm being pummeled with this message today. How many more signs do you want? This person cannot be saved, okay?
Staggering levels of hypocrisy for Alex Jones saying someone is fat. True, that's true. I'll count that. Jay Delphin, thanks for 14 months, says, woo, top content here. Jules Krusler says, nothing, with 17 months. And Ender92 with 34 months says, 34-month-aroos, what we got going on today. Just lots of conspiracies.
Narcissists cannot be saved. Trust me, I've fucking tried. You know what it got me? Fucked over. Time and time and time again. Fucking leave. Leave. Do it quietly. Don't tell anybody what you're doing. Because all those other people around are going to do what they always do. Keep you fucking tied down. They want to keep you stuck in that spot. They don't.
He seems healthy. Sume says, past? That's a good show, too. Sorry, back to Crazy Guy. There was a specific video I wanted to watch. Where was it?
Okay, I'm gonna try and explain this.
Filming in car.
3D.
Daylow 1995. Thanks for 4 months.
Matrix prison to you guys. So, what's happening in Ascension is our minds are being awoken to the 5D, and 5D is where most beings exist. So, aliens, ghosts, goblins, monsters. Okay.
Oh God. What's the difference between aliens, ghosts, goblins, and monsters? Like, what's the difference between a goblin and a monster? Just curious, for very personal reasons.
These are all things that exist around us, but we can't see them. The moon is a gigantic, ancient projector, basically.
Fuck, holographic moon on the bingo card.
And what it does is it projects a certain frequency of light that hides all these beings from us. Our brains are crippled. We can't see things in a certain light spectrum because of the light.
I mean, we can't see most of the light spectrum. So that's accurate, but not because anyone's hiding anything. We just have only a specific visible light spectrum for our eyes. Mew the Best says, all goblins are monsters, not all monsters are goblins.
Light projecting on.
And Overthought says, today I learned the entirety of Scooby-Doo, must have taken place in the 5th dimension.
To us.
We have not had clones yet, no.
Okay? Once you free your mind...
most people can't handle 5D, but
of the 3D prison, you'll start to see these beings in 5D. Now, for everyone to ascend, we have to raise our vibration as a whole. Our consciousness has to raise as a race, okay? Has a lot to do with manifestation. So what happened was, 12,000 some odd years ago, that 3D matrix was put in place, not to keep starseeds here, to keep the Draconians here, because they're cunts.
The Draconians are cunts. Okay. Noted.
And in doing so, starseeds were trapped on Earth with them. Now, The Draconians are capable of tapping into this technology. If they shut off the moon, okay, we'll be able to see them. They
hope no one hits the moon switch. Is it just like one? Someone's gonna walk out, a janitor's gonna accidentally hit the wrong switch to turn off the light, and all of a sudden all the goblins are visible? Oof. I hope they put like a sticky note, like, do not turn moon off. Moon is very necessary.
They cloak themselves just the way ghosts do. I know it's hard to understand, but this is the best explanation I can give you. They want to keep us trapped here because they're trapped here. So they recycle our souls. They recycle our consciousness. When something like COVID happens, that was a way to mass manifest our own deaths so that we can be reincarnated, and then we'd have to start all over again. It buys them time, right? It keeps their...
Nope, just a pandemic that killed a lot of people unnecessarily.
Slaves. It's like Gozar from fucking Ghostbusters and Rage.
Gozer.
Chooses the
Carpathian.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. It's the same thing they tried to do with COVID. Choose your own
Wait, no, was Vigo the Carpathian? Vigo was the Carpathian. Gozer was a Mesopotamian god. Gozer was the Gozerian. With Vince Clortho and, Vince Clortho, which is the Keymaster, and the... God damn it. Vince Clortho and Zool! Vince Clortho and Zool. Zool is the gatekeeper, and Vince Clortho is the Keymaster.
Destroyer, and we manifested it ourselves, okay? I'll make a part 2 to this. Okay, I'm gonna try.
Excited for part 2.
Okay, so here's part 2. I'm talking about what 5D is, ascension, and I have to correct myself. I talked about the moon as a projector. The moon is a vessel, and the technology is on the moon. The projector is on the moon. That's what floods us with this light, this spectrum, okay? Think of it like water. If you're underwater, you can only see so much. You can only see so far, and that's what they do with light. They flood Earth with light that prevents us from seeing beings that exist around us, that live in the 5D. I hope that helps. Okay, so in order to ascend, we have to raise our vibration, right?
Thanks, GeoSiege. Appreciate it. Sume says, hold on, I gotta read your messages before I read them out loud. Your remembrance of 80s sci-fi comedy is hot, Hannah. Tell me more about your Warhammer figures. I don't have Warhammer figures, because I'm not a dork.
The Draconian...
That was only intended to harm Sume, so everyone else with Warhammer figures, you're fine.
Want to keep us from doing that. They don't want to be seen. They're the slave owners. We're the slaves. Starseeds can come down to Earth, but the Matrix has rules. That's why we don't remember anything. We don't remember where we're from. The Matrix has rules that stay in place so that human beings can have a human experience. That's what it was intended for. The Draconians hacked into the Matrix and used it to their advantage. They know that manifestation is real. They know that energy can be manipulated.
Bullying me won't help. I'm into that shit. Alright, enough of the 5D guy. Let's find some other crazy. Where's the Tartaria stuff? I know I had some. How long was this one? It's 50 minutes. That's too long. Let's try this. MH Darkbeast says, so happy. The first version had a giant head and was impossible to find, so they finally redid her as the 100th cartoon figure. Short video. Oh, is this one of the NECA? Oh, yeah. Oh my god, she's... course, one of the heads is blindfolded because she's been captured. It's on brand. Sorry, M. Scheffler. M. Scheffler said, do these people watch these videos back and think, yep, nailed it? Probably not. Proofreading is hard. Proof watching your videos is harder.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll go over the timeline I've created, which I now believe to be a more accurate representation of human history and our place within it.
Oh, this is gonna go great.
This timeline will portray an interpretation of biblical eschatology called preterism. Preterism is defined by the idea that all or most biblical prophecies have already been fulfilled, which includes the tribulation and the second coming of Christ. The vast majority of modern-day preterists have mainly come to this conclusion based on scriptural and historical evidence and aren't yet aware of the large amount of additional evidence compiled by the alternative history community. By combining all of this data together, I believe a very sound case is made for the timeline deception theory. So let's get into the first slide. I'll be unveiling parts of the timeline as we go. I'll try not to get into too much detail along the way, as every little part can be dissected and made into its own video, so I'll try to be as generalized as possible. There may be an updated version in the future as new information comes to light. So the first major event in human history is of course the creation of the first humans, Adam and Eve.
Do you have any primary source documents on that?
It seems like the Earth itself is probably older than this event. However, we can say that our history as human beings on the Earth begins with Adam and Eve.
I don't think you could find a single legitimate historian who would agree with you on that.
This part of the time...
I do kind of like the baby angels that are just straight up baby heads with wings, though. That's a look.
Timeline is when most events of...
I think that's what Cupid should look like, but instead of firing arrows, he just spits on you.
The Bible took place. I'm not sure how many years this is, but if mankind is 6,000 years old, a figure that has been extrapolated from genealogy records in the Bible...
Have you considered that the Bible might not be a 100% infallible source for information? Consider it.
Then this portion of history may be approximately 5,000 years. I'm not completely sure about...
Okay, well, we know human civilizations existed like 10,000 years ago, and humans have existed between 1 and 300,000 years as Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens sapiens. So no, more than 5,000. Jamie says, I have a rock with me, Adam, engraved in it. Checkmate, atheists.
How truly accurate that number is, but
How
it's
is
not
his
that
handwriting
important right now. I won't be adding any biblical events to this part of the timeline. Instead, I'll only be characterizing this period in time by the fact that Satan was free to roam the earth. The next part of the timeline is the birth of Jesus, and 33 years later...
Does the Temple of Paul have a creation myth? Yes, the earth was created last Tuesday, no matter what day it is.
The next major event occurs, which is his death and
The universe was created last Tuesday with everything existing, including memories of a fake life before last Tuesday.
Subsequent resurrection. Now we get to the portion that radically departs from the timeline of human history that most believe. Here we have the Great Tribulation kicking off just 30 years after the death of Jesus. This event that most people believe to be right around the...
I like that we're like 2.5 minutes into this video about world history, and like the two main events that were mentioned were Adam and Eve and Jesus dying. Nothing of interest happened in like the 3,000 years she's saying between those two events.
Corner today appears to be well into our past. When we read the New Testament with a new mindset, it becomes clear that Jesus repeatedly told his disciples that the events known as the Great Tribulation would be happening within their lifetimes and not 2,000 years in the future. Here are a few key verses. In Matthew, Jesus said, Verily I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. Again Jesus said, But I tell you truly, There are some standing here who shall not taste death till they see the kingdom of God. And in Matthew, after Jesus describes the tribulation and its end, he goes on to say, Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled.
Man, that aged poorly.
The Great Tribulation and the Battle of Armageddon, events in our history that were too big to sweep under the rug, are disguised in our history books as the fall of the Roman Empire, culminating in the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. Of course, the dates we are given for these events are out of order, which is to purposely deceive us. We are told that the fall of the Roman Empire gradually happened over the course of hundreds of years, when in reality, most or perhaps even all of it may have happened quickly in Jesus' day and culminated in the tribulation. If you're aware of how severely our historical record has been tampered with, then this shouldn't sound too outlandish.
Pretty fucking outlandish. She's not very interesting, though. Like, it's bullshit, but it's bullshit in a very monotone way. So let's find it. Oh, someone sent this. An NFT is... basically, it's not Shabambu. An NFT is a receipt that you can basically buy on the blockchain. In the case of NFTs, usually Ethereum, the blockchain Ethereum. It's basically just a receipt that says, I bought this thing. And the thing is often puppet milk. It's bullshit. It's a scam. When did I say puppet milk? I don't remember that. Dace Fidel says they never seem to explain why we are being deceived with any conspiracy theory. For fun? Important info. I saw the meme you sent. Oh, maybe this video doesn't want to load. BitChute's been running worse than normal lately. I don't know if they're, like, short for cash and their servers are doing really bad, but it feels like half the videos on BitChute do not want to load.
Warning, this video contains graphic details concerning the Hillary Clinton sex tape and the horrific acts she committed against a young girl. The footage found on Anthony Weiner's laptop caused some of the most hardened NYPD officers to weep, vomit, and seek psychological help.
Look at a fraction of the emails on Anthony Weiner's laptop.
So who is Anthony Weiner again? You know.
So for those who don't know, QAnon conspiracy theorists believe that there's a video out there of Hillary Clinton molesting and murdering and wearing the face of a child. If you've ever heard the term frazzle drip, this is what conspiracy theorists are referencing. A fake video that does not exist about Hillary Clinton, ritually murdering a child and eating them. And doing a leather face.
This guy. And this guy. Things seem to be going pretty great for Anthony. A congressman himself, he was married to Huma Abedin, an American political staffer who was vice chair of Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign for president of the United States. Abedin seemed to be a sure thing for a Clinton White House. Of course, that was before police began to investigate her husband Anthony, who was ultimately sentenced to 21 months in federal prison for an illicit online contact with a 15-year-old girl.
Good. He probably deserved to be put away longer.
During its investigation, the FBI found over 15,000 emails on a private email server of Hillary Clinton's. Here's the document showing the seizure of the laptop.
So one of the things, if I were the
Scheffler, thanks for 100 bits.
president, I'd do is demand the Anthony Weiner laptop and get it to the most trusted person in the military to take apart everything on it.
But his laptop was searched.
And then start using it.
And he was convicted for what was found.
There's a lot.
Hillary Clinton also got in trouble for the email thing. I'm pretty sure she had her security clearance stripped.
They can be prosecuted, I have no doubt, on that laptop.
So what all was found on this laptop? Well, the NYPD source says that the Wiener laptop has enough evidence to put Hillary away for life.
Wow, NYPD source. No one named the source, and I can't even see what publication this is supposed to be from. So it's a sourceless claim. Great.
It said that these emails include evidence linking Clinton herself and associates to money laundering, child exploitation, sex crimes with minors, perjury, pay to play through the Clinton Foundation, obstruction of justice, and other felony crimes.
Why would all of that be on Anthony Weiner's laptop? That doesn't even make sense. Like, if it was her laptop and you thought these things were true, sure. Why would it just be on other guy's laptop? All of the evidence of various unrelated crimes? That doesn't make sense. Profane Priestess says, QAnon is just Satanic Panic 2, Electric Boogaloo, which was just Gay Panic 2, Electric Boogaloo, which was just Blood Libel 2, Electric Boogaloo. What the fuck is an Electric Boogaloo? I understand the reference, it's from Breakin' 2, I know, but what is an Electric Boogaloo? I've not seen Breakin', much less the sequel.
Worth noting that this is not the first time the Clintons have been tied to crimes involving exploitation of children. Remember Laura Silsby, who was convicted of...
Boogaloo is a dance? What makes something an electric boogaloo? M. Scheffler says, like, they were like, let's get this guy for being a sex pervert, but the cops we like, us lefty cops, are gonna protect Hillary. All of us left-wing cops will protect her. You know, the famously lefty cops.
child trafficking. And how about this guy? You know, this guy and this guy. Internet sleuths discovered apparent evidence of pedophile code words being used in emails.
No, you didn't! You saw him ordering hot dogs and pizza.
From John Podesta released by WikiLeaks.
I fucking hate these people.
This was in November of 2016. Hillary Rodham Clinton, just when we think it can't get any worse with some of these corruptions we've heard about her, apparently there was a hidden file on Weiner's laptop with a video in it entitled Insurance Policy. Understand, this is no longer a conspiracy. There were a total of 12...
No, it's still a conspiracy, and it's unfounded, which is why she wasn't arrested for anything related to that. Maps and Mimic says, same thing that makes it an electric shuffle? I don't know the answer to that either.
Individuals who saw this video, and 9 of those 12 people are dead now.
What the hell's going on here?
So far this year, there have been 9 NYPD suicides, 7 since June. Last year, there were a total...
Those were the 9 Republican cops.
...of 4.
The video is described as pure evil. According to QAnon, the infamous White House insider...
QAnon claimed as a source. Literally.
President Trump's recent announcement that he is going after high-profile sex offenders is directly related to this video. Now, this is my final warning before I go into detail describing this video.
It's fictional. It's not real.
The bad video is of Hillary, Huma, and a little girl. They are terrorizing the child. They filleted the child's face off while she was alive and put it on their faces to further terrorize the child. They were deliberately causing the child's body to release adrenochrome into the bloodstream so they could drink the blood.
Adrenochrome on the bingo card. Also, again, I need to express, adrenochrome, A, is not a recreational drug that you would take. 2, it's stolen from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Hunter S. Thompson literally admitted to making up his drug trip on adrenochrome. He made it up. 3, even if it was a recreational drug, adrenochrome can easily be synthesized in a lab, and if you were rich, you could get it much cheaper just by paying someone who knows how to do chemistry to make it for you, than to kidnap people to get it. Period.
Blood when they bled her out in the satanic ritual sacrifice. This was what caused grown men to become extremely sick, and many needed to seek out psychological help after viewing it. The perpetrators all need to be hung by the neck until dead. These are very psychologically messed up murderers, vile, demented, and soulless.
As opposed to all the murderers who are not messed up. The level-headed ones.
Demons. Multiple sources within the FBI and NYPD have confirmed the existence of this tape. And then, of course, recently, there's this.
In fact, I heard that the New York police office...
Sidney Powell? Sidney Powell, who famously was... Oh god, did she lose her license, or was it just she was, disciplined for all her election lying stuff? She was the one who came up with the Kraken. Remember the Kraken? Anyway, she got in trouble for frivolous lawsuits based on conspiracy theories.
Officers who saw some of it, even though they're hardened investigators, literally had to go throw up. It's bad.
Because of Wienergate and the sexting scandal, the NYPD started investigating it. Through a subpoena, through a warrant, they searched his laptop and sure enough found those 650,000 emails. They found way more stuff than just the more information pertaining to the inappropriate sexting the guy was doing. They found State Department emails. They found a lot of other really damning criminal information, including money laundering, including the fact that Hillary went to this sex island with convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Bill Clinton went there.
I don't know if Hillary went. I'm pretty sure Clinton did. Like, Bill. I don't know if Hillary did. Trump did. Pretty sure Bill Gates did. I'm not sure who else is confirmed.
More than 20 times. Hillary Clinton went there at least 6 times. The amount of garbage that they found in these emails of criminal activity by Hillary, by her immediate circle, and even by other Democratic members of Congress.
Hey, Brent. How you doing?
Was so disgusting. They gave it to the FBI, and they said, we're going to go public with this if you don't reopen the investigation, if you don't do the right thing with timely indictments. NYPD was the first one to look at that laptop. Weiner and Huma Abedin, his wife, the closest advisor of Hillary Clinton for 20 years, have both flipped. And Huma Abedin...
Well, that didn't happen, so I guess this person's a liar.
His wife, the closest advisor of Hillary Clinton for 20 years, have both flipped. Okay? They are cooperating.
This article from newsfromtheperimeter.com. Deaths become her. 9 out of 12 people who saw Anthony Weiner's laptop are dead. There were a total of 12 individuals who saw Anthony Weiner's laptop computer. 9 of those 12 people are dead now.
That doesn't make any sense. More than 12 people would probably see it, and any evidence would be filed with the court. So that's not how anything works.
Now that is a strange coincidence. Anthony Weiner is alive. Weiner shared the laptop with his estranged wife, Huma Abedin, a close aide to Hillary Clinton since 2000.
In fact, I heard that the New York police officers...
who
saw some of it, even though they're hardened investigators.
Here's weasel words that these should set off fireworks and a red flag in your head. I've heard. People are saying. Everyone's saying. A lot of people are saying. Some have said. If you're making a claim like that, it's either opinion, which is fine. I'm sure I've used similar language when stating opinion. But when people try and use these words to insert quote-unquote facts into a discussion, typically it's because they just want to say a thing that they believe without a source. Many people are saying Trump does this all the time. It's a way of distancing oneself from the consequences of what you are saying by disavowing your own opinions and shuffling them off onto some generic other, many people are saying whatever. Dr. Gamble says, psst, not sure you care, but someone just donated 52 tier 2 subs on Jake's Subathon. It's day 6 and each level 1 tier sub is 2 minutes. You do the math. That's his business. That's his subathon.
Literally had to go throw up. It's bad.
Wilson! Wilson! Yeah, everyone in the conspiracy community, at least in the QAnon conspiracy community, are adamant that this video exists and that, like, everyone has, oh, I have a cousin who saw it, or I have, my friend's friend that they talk to on Facebook has seen it, and some people will just outright lie and say they've seen it or something. It doesn't exist. I assure you it doesn't exist. If a snuff film existed that involved Hillary Clinton, it would be public knowledge. Like, we know about snuff films. There are absolutely snuff films that exist. To be clear, they're fucking illegal and disgusting. That's not one of them. That is not one of them. Doesn't exist. Glad we covered that. I'm not going to talk about the actual snuff film that I'm aware of. No. It's one of the things that Josh Duggar got put away for. I'll leave it at that. Stone Corbell says, very soon they'll be able to generate it with AI deepfakes and then they'll be, quote, vindicated. Yeah, they will have effectively produced AI-generated child sexual abuse material, though. So that's probably illegal. Oh, God. AI technology is going to be used for that. Holy fuck. The anime profile picture people who try and defend Lolly are going to be so much fucking worse now. Why hadn't I... Fucking hell, yikes. Oh... Okay, let's move on, because my brain doesn't want to think about the horrifying future we're stepping into. They have banana bread Pop-Tarts now, though, so that's cool.
In 2004, I began an intensive research of a phenomenon called shadow people. This is a bedroom invader. They do haunt places, we do find them outdoors, but primarily the shadow person is a negative entity experience.
Okay, so shadow people are either A, night terrors, which are a thing. I've had night terrors like twice in my life. One, I don't remember what the thing was. The second time it was the Joker. I had the Joker show up in one of my fucking like night terror. What's it called when you like freeze up and you can't move? You know what I'm talking about? What's the thing? Sleep paralysis. Thank you. So anyway, I had this sleep paralysis dream where the Joker cut my fucking head off, and I was just like a head in a bag, and like I couldn't move, and I was a head in a bag. Like, my eyes were barely open. It's hard to explain because, like, I was asleep, but I was awake. So, like, I felt like my head was in a bag and I couldn't move, and the Joker was just, like, laughing about it. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is sleep paralysis can make you see a lot of things that aren't there. So it's either that, or sometimes people who have hallucinations, whether that's caused by, like, schizophrenia or some other, like, schizoaffective type disorder, shadow people are a way that people describe visual hallucinations. Now, most hallucinations are auditory in nature, people hearing things, but when they do see hallucinations with these sort of issues, it is often described as shadow people. So unfortunately, this is possibly a woman who is suffering from undiagnosed mental illness, who is trying to explain it in a paranormal way. Doodly2X, thanks for 12 months, says a year already. True. Happy anniversary.
A person wakes up in the middle of the night and sees a horrifying, solid black silhouette of what appears to be a tall man wearing a coat and a hat in the bedroom. Sometimes the hat is missing.
Oh my God!
They stand
it's the Hat Man!
At the foot of the bed, by the side of the bed.
Did you take a bunch of Benadryl? Like a lot of Benadryl and then decide not to sleep?
They look...
MH Darkbeast says, sleep paralysis is effed up. Only happened to me once and I never want it to happen again. I saw a shadow person and could almost feel him breathing on me, and luckily he was only out of the corner of my eyes. Oof. M. Scheffler... Sorry, I'm finding your bits. Just ruined Hannah's day with that revelation. What was the revelation? It was something Stone Corbell said. Oh, the thing. Yeah.
Look solid because they will block out anything behind them, but they have the ability to dematerialize in an instant. They have no facial features, but yet they penetrate their victims with what appears to be, or
penetrate, you say?
Feels like an intense stare, as though they're delving very deeply into the very brain and soul of the victim. They do not communicate. They radiate hostility and even, according to many accounts, evil. People are terrified of them. Well, I wanted to know more about this experience, and I discovered that it's quite common, and it's documented for centuries, just under other kinds of names. The more I researched shadow people, the more I realized how much this form could be accounted for by jinn. That the jinn in their lore often show as black forms, in animalistic forms, in strange entity forms, and they have the ability to dematerialize instantly. They can be black clouds and vapors and mists that coalesce and...
Is this what they mean by "I have a case of the vapors"?
Disappear according...
I do declare I'm being pursued by the Hat Man.
To their will.
I seem to have taken a bushel of Benadryl, and boy howdy, it does feel like insects are crawling under my skin.
I also noticed in my research that there was a major link between shadow person experiencers and ET abduction experiencers.
What's up, boy?
Why does this just keep going?
Have a prism,
weird.
EKGs or EEGs or anything else that will definitively show that there's a chemical imbalance. And if there is a chemical imbalance, which of the 32 or so neurotransmitters in the brain are imbalanced? They have no way to measure it. But
okay, shadow people.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Scumdogs Kennel. I'm your host Chris Williams, and tonight we're going to be looking at werewolves, portals, crawlers, and shadow beings near Land Between the Lakes. It looks like a great looking article I'm going to read to you tonight, folks, and we're going to have some fun. But first, as always, let me show off some artwork from my own upcoming graphic novel, Scumdogs, okay? Huh? Looking pretty good. Let me go over here real quick. Monsters that compete in the Scumdog sport. Jonah Jameson, the editor of the Daily Bugle from the Spider-Man movies, and crossed him over with Buck Rogers. You would get Buick Starpoon. He's an over-the-top military nut job of a commander who always thinks he's right, can never admit he's wrong, and always leads from the back of his team, the Wild Rangers, when he's fighting the Scumdogs. Yeah. He's one of those over-the-top military nut job of commanders who always thinks he's right. And anyone on this cover with a similar uniform.
This is called Werewolves, Portals, Crawlers, and Shadow Beings Near Land Between the Lakes. And now he's talking about a comic he's making.
Rebuke Starpoon,
it does look like a Mike Matei piece of art, I would agree.
part of his team, the Wild Rangers. And because they're G.I. Joe parodies, each of them has a military specialty. Basically, their special skills and abilities allow them to fight the Scumdogs. It'll help me tell you about the other members of the Wild Rangers without having to explain.
Let me be clear. I have no right to criticize any art ever. I can't draw anything. So this is better than I can do.
Their personalities.
Although it does look like they all are... It looks like they all have really thick penises. I don't know if anyone else noticed. Like, hold on.
Specialty. Basically,
like, this person is overdoing it on the crotches. They're trying to do crotch bulges, but it just looks like they all have chodes.
Please allow them to fight the Scumdogs. It'll help me tell you about the other members of the Wild Rangers without having to explain them.
See, look at that. It looks like he's got a weird chode. Chode force! Chode force!
The personalities. Over here, this guy with the mohawk and the navy blue and white uniform, his military specialty, well, his name is Roadhog, and his military specialty is that he's a highly decorated soldier. Yeah, highly decorated soldier from the U.S. Army who's transferred
More like highly decorated soldier.
over to the Wild Rangers to use his skills to fight the scum dogs. Then we have this bald guy down here with the gun in the blue and white uniform. His name is Beach Pounder, and his military specialty is that he's a Marine. Then you have this guy called Blast Tank. His
name is Blast Tank. Is that his given name?
His specialty is that he's a tanker. He drives around weaponized vehicles. This covers one of 3 different variant covers you can back, so you have that to look forward to too. Looks pretty good, huh? Then we have Girl Friday. Girl Friday is this female member of the Wild Rangers. She's a parody.
I mean, right on, Girl Friday. Girl Friday has the biggest chode of all. So, like, I appreciate that. Some potential trans inclusiveness.
On the Girl Friday archetype kind of character. A Girl Friday character is usually a female soldier.
Come on. I don't know how you draw. Like, this is this person's version of feet. Like, they don't know how to do a crotch. Like, they don't know how to transition a crotch into legs. So the crotch is too prevalent. Like, they don't know where the pelvis needs to end. That is a long pelvis.
That's in love with their superior officer and does whatever he says. The joke here is that Girl Friday is the second-in-command to Buick Starpoon, and she hates his guts. Because as I said, the Wild Rangers are idiots, and Buick Starpoon is an idiot. And Girl Friday is here only to babysit them. Then we have Death Mug's henchmen. Because, in all 80s cartoons, the main villain would always have henchmen who would do his bidding, but they'd always be idiots. The big fat pink guy down here with shape-shifting powers is Sloppy, and the blue guy with the top head appears Mirror Mouth. As I said, these guys are basically, Death Mug's henchmen. They're based on Bebop and Rocksteady from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Then we have Hair Middle Doctor. Hair Middle Doctor, it's a parody of a character from JoJo known as Dr. Mindbender.
Do you have any characters that are not strictly based on other characters?
Mindbender was Cobra's top scientist and stuff. He dressed like he was a hair mill musician, so I thought, why not create a villain who was a hair mill musician and a mad scientist? So I came up with Hair Middle Doctor. If you're wondering why he's a human and not a monster like the other scum dogs, he was hired after the scum dogs became villains. They needed him to invent weapons and machines they used to try and take over the universe. Other books as well. Night we hear can be extremely loud everywhere, and it was in the woods.
Okay, I'm now more interested in this guy's comic than I am in his conspiracy theory.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Scumdogs Kennel. I'm your host Chris Williams, and in today's Cryptid Corner mini episode, we're going to be talking about the Glimmer Man again. And this very terrifying.
Can I go back to Girl Friday? I can fix the issues with the design. I will try. Let me look. If I can find the video we just watched. Because it wasn't a recent one, I don't think. You might just have to deal with it. I don't know if I'll find it. You might just have to, like, live with that image in your head and never get to fix it. That's a shame.
Account this witness describes how we encounter.
All those characters belong in this toy line.
Johnny Long Torso, Johnny Long Torso, the man who comes in pieces. He's long.
I think I've destroyed Cassafel's life.
I want to start with the long torso starter unit and then add the action head. Just look at the detail on this.
Then accentuate the head with the right and left eyeball action packs, plus Johnny's perfect ears, sold separately.
Now,
okay, hold on. I'll try and find the thing for you. The things I do for internet friends. Here, I'll find it. It's here.
Then we have Hair Middle Doctor. Hair Middle Doctor.
Was it before Hair Metal Doctor? It was before the villains, right? There's Girl Friday. Take a screenshot. Let me know when you get your goddamn screenshot or whatever you need. You good? You good? You good? I look forward to your interpretation. Okay, let's find more. If this wants to load.
There's a race of beings upon the planet increasing in number, although visually and physically indistinguishable to most humans. They are the bringers of the new, the bringers of light. They're here to guide the awakening of terrestrial consciousness. Now, what I wanted to know was, where is the evidence? Because that sounds wonderful, and I do believe that this is what's going on.
According to Bashar, and to my understanding, and I do resonate with this, these indigo crystal star kids coming in, there's many possible scenarios of how they're becoming so light and bright and psychic. And one of the things that Bashar talks about is that the genetic material is actually modified in these abduction scenarios, and they're kept. So they manipulate the egg or whatever's going on, they put it into the woman, and she actually then has the kid with her husband and the mom, and then, you know, part extraterrestrial. So for me, and based on what I've talked about with my dad and my mom and people around me, I think I have some genetic material that is part extraterrestrial more than most would.
So, what do the star kids themselves tell me?
Does it matter?
That not only do they have memories of being on spacecraft and being educated, they often have past life memories, including ones where they are not human.
Alleged past life memories, maybe? Maybe stick the word alleged on everything?
Information they have not consciously learned seems to be downloaded in many different ways, and I'm going to talk about the...
Have I seen Picard Season 3? I've seen clips, I have not actually watched it.
Downloads in a minute. They have a sense of purpose, a sense of mission. They feel, excuse the pun, alienated on this planet. They find other human beings actually quite barbaric. And they'll say to me, I can't understand how we operate on this planet. It seems really, really primitive.
Mother of 10 alien hybrid children.
So back then, over the past 100 years or so, there's been this abduction program, also known as the hybridization program.
Okay.
Where these extraterrestrials are taking humans and taking them up to the ship and then taking their genetic material, so their sperm or eggs.
Okay.
And then creating children out of them.
And
why?
The people that are being taken, do they know anything about this? That the, you know, their DNA and their genetic materials being...
I remind you that Peter believes this happened to him. So the entirety of the human species was looked at by aliens, and the aliens decided that the genetic material that was most valuable to them was that of an unemployed conspiracy theorist from a cult in Pennsylvania.
Taken at the time?
A lot of people, one of the things that they do is they have actually screen memories over...
Did I set a date for me and Peter's talk? I've talked to him again. We don't have a firm date yet. I'll keep working on it.
Like overlaid over their actual experiences so that they forget. But there's always kind of like a hint of it with dreams, remnants, or they might have...
Oh, you're from Pennsylvania. That's right, you are from Pennsylvania. You're basically Peter.
physical things that come up, like they feel pregnant, or like their ovaries are aching, or physical
it's
things.
like a phantom pregnancy that's mirroring what's happening on a craft or spaceship or something. So how did it start with you?
How did it start with me? It started with me when I started doing a bunch of...
No, here's the thing. Okay, Sume, you live in Pennsylvania, so I need you to find Peter and get me the bullet crown that I'm owed. You get full immunity if you get me the bullet crown.
Healing work.
Okay.
So I was doing, I was working with angels and ghosts and other lives and all these kind of things. And one of the things that kept coming up was this concept of abduction.
Yeah.
And then all these abductees started coming to me and telling me their stories, and I'm like, this is real. Like, these people actually think that they were taken. And I was thinking that it wasn't me the whole time. And then finally, over time, like, these memories started to come up for me, and I'm like, oh my god.
The X-Files plot to Scully having a kid. Yeah, I like X-Files, but I hate the overarching alien conspiracy subplot. The Monster of the Week episodes are killer. Those are great. The shit monster, amazing. I hate the alien conspiracy plotline from X-Files.
Gosh, I'm a part.
I would prefer an episode where Bryan Cranston has to keep driving the same direction at a high speed or else his head will explode.
Of this, of course, that's why it's coming up.
Yeah. So,
to be clear, I should say, I was joking about the Peter thing. Do not contact Peter. Do not find Peter. I was joking.
When did you think they start when they took you all your genetic material?
Well, the biggest like memory unlocker was a regression that I did.
Okay.
With Barbara Lamb, and she's one of the top ET regressors in the world.
Wow, that one specific woman keeps finding people with hidden alien memories? Wow, it's almost like she's the one who's inserting memories into people. Crazy. Jitara says, wait a sec, are these people romanticizing aliens essentially taking their genetic material without their consent? Yeah. Yeah, they are. Chromatic Cuttlefish says, can confirm this woman is definitely a space cadet.
And all of my memories, like, just came flooding back from that. And so it started when I was about age 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And why particularly you? Why not the person in the next house down the street?
They take, well, it could be the person in the next house.
Yeah, of course. It could be the whole street.
Right. Everyone going. They take genetic lines.
Oh,
so
okay.
they've taken my dad, they took my grandma, so they take certain genetic lines and lineages. So they're always working usually in the families.
Yeah.
And
are they making incest babies?
Why do they choose these particular families?
Like, what the fuck? What does that mean? Like, does she not understand that what she effectively just said is they're making weird incest babies?
The genetics, so the energetic structure of that certain family line, as well as the physical genetics that they're looking for, and also the soul contracts that...
Yeah, it's very eugenics-y. It's basically just sci-fi eugenics with aliens.
These family lineages have to participate in this other way.
A soul contract, what? Explain.
So,
it sounds quite
serious.
Sinister. Yeah. So you're 3 years old, they take you... So how did it progress from that to children? And could you talk about the child experience and all that stuff? Okay.
So with my generation, because this kind of goes to the question you're just asking, my generation, it was a lot more positive. So there were experiences on these spaceships. They were like super exciting and fun, and I was always excited to go.
Yeah.
And it's similar with my generation, but the generations back, these Greys, they didn't have the emotional capacity as humans do.
Yeah.
So they didn't know how to treat us.
Oh.
And so a lot of people had very terrifying experiences, or that it was like physically hurtful in ways.
Yeah.
But then by the time they got to my generation and me, it was a lot more exciting.
Yeah.
So in those first years after 3 years old, I was on the ship just kind of exploring and getting used to it, and I'd go up with my family, and I remember going up with them, so it was kind of
like a family outing.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Just spaceship for the night.
This lady's nuts.
In dream time.
In 1991.
Ew.
Bashar. It was so...
Alright.
Well, I don't think anybody should be surprised that places are filming gun and ammo sales. This is something that's been going on for a while.
This is wild to me. This article is beyond woke. Walmart has been videoing gun sales in its stores. Do people not know Walmart has cameras over every inch of their store? And have for like 2 decades? Like, Walmart films everything in their store. It's a Walmart.
You know, they pretend like they don't have a registry of people, but, you know, if they need the information, they can get it. There's various ways they can figure out what kinds of things you're buying at the store. One thing I have to stress, folks, is going forward, if you're a gun owner, quit arsenal posting online. You know, like places like ARFCOM.
M. Scheffler, thanks for 145 bits.
Or AK Forum or AK Files and stuff. You have to realize while they're interesting websites and you can learn a lot from them, there's a lot of data mining going on. Yeah, like, I don't trust any of these players on these websites. You know, I had to learn this stuff. You know, anytime they're asking you to participate in threads and stuff where you're revealing your stockpiles and whatnot, that's getting into a category where they're like, you know, data mining. They're logging in to the algorithm what people own what kinds of guns, and they're also taking information from people that are participating in, you know, threads that are like, you know, for instance, shit hit the fan threads. You know, seeing how people are preparing for, you know, coming situations so they know how to deal with things. All right, when you're sitting there giving your whole life story on the internet, the glowies are sitting there, you know, realizing that people are preparing for certain things and they're preparing themselves to how to deal with the situation. You know, you got to keep these things in mind. It says beyond woke, Walmart has been videoing gun.
M. Scheffler says it's getting to be that you can't jerk one out in the Lego aisle at Walmart without one being recorded and reported to the police. What is this world coming to?
Sales in it.
Accidental.
Stores. Walmart's website opens with photos of mothers and children shopping weekly specials on daily necessities. And for those who click on the Our Company link and dig a little deeper, an unabashed admission, Walmart has been videoing every gun sale in its stores. The Our Company
glowy means government spy, basically.
Tab shifts the website to Walmart's corporate page from whence one can pursue various pages, one of which sets forth Walmart's policy for responsible firearm sales. On the responsible firearm sales page, Walmart says in part, in 2018, we made the decision to raise the minimum age to purchase firearms and ammunition in our stores to 21 years of age. In years prior, we ended sales of modern sporting rifles including AR-15. Most currently, in September 2019, we decided to no longer sell ammunition that can be used in large-capacity magazines on military-style weapons.
Yeah, I don't know why they think it wasn't happening. Why did they think gun sales aren't being filmed if the store has a security camera? Why do they think that they aren't on camera?
Which we do not sell. We also made a complete exit from handgun sales. We will focus our assortment of ammunition on the firearms we do carry. Although they do not mention it, Walmart banned open carry of handguns for self-defense in their stores in September 2022.
Cool.
CNBC reported that Walmart would continue to allow permitted concealed carry inside its stores, but would post signs announcing an end to open carry, even in states where open carry is legal.
Argonian Bum, thanks for 33
Moreover,
months.
At the time the company banned open carry for self-defense, Walmart CEO Doug McMillon asked Congress to pass more gun control. You have to realize with Walmart and these big corporations, they're always in the back pocket of the government agenda. Notice COVID-19. You know, who was putting up the 666 symbolism all over the floor? You know, stay 6 feet apart, 6 feet.
Mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is them saying 6 feet apart on the floor during COVID.
This, when that was going down. You know, the only places that were hurting were small businesses. The corporate evil was, you know, excelling during these times. You know, they always have a head start too. I almost guarantee you these corporate bigwigs and stuff in these grocery stores and mega chains, they're having secret meetings with government entities prior to certain things, coming forth. They knew about COVID-19 years in advance. I guarantee.
No, they didn't.
You they did. He said Congress. McMillan said that after talking to people inside and outside of Walmart, the company has also decided to send letters to the White House to ask for common sense measures on firearms. He said Congress and its administration should act. And now it appears Walmart has been videoing gun sales. The responsible firearms sales page says, additionally, we required that customers pass a background check despite federal law allowing firearms to be sold after a 3-day waiting period, even if approval isn't received. We also
That's their right as a company.
Videotape the point of sale for firearms and only allow certain trained associates to sell the firearms.
Briar Rose with 100 bits says, it always amazes me, this gun fetishization. Guns are usually not welcome in stores. Back in the Old West, guns were confiscated when you came into town. Weirdly, they knew alcohol and guns were a bad combination. It is weird. It is super weird how fetishized guns are. It's creepy.
A former Republican Senate counsel spoke to Breitbart News about the Walmart's practice of videoing gun sales, saying, storing footage of lawful firearms purchases is an affront to the Second Amendment and could help the Biden administration build a gun registry. That's what the purpose of this is. They're trying to figure out who's buying what. Democrats in Congress won't act, but Republican states like Florida should protect their citizens from Walmart's tracking system. And that's the end of the article. Again, guys, this is nothing new. I know this has been going on for a long time. Anytime I shop at Sportsman's or anything else and buy a box of ammo, I know they're videoing.
Yeah, it's a store! What big box store in 2023 isn't filming? Even like mom and pop stores have had security cameras for like 30 years. What?
Everything, and they're storing, who's making these purchases. Don't have any delusions about it. If you're going to buy something, try to buy in paper money. When you pay with your credit card or something, that also goes into an algorithm where the banks are monitoring your purchases, whether it's firearms or whatever. You don't make it easy for them. We know that they know who has what, but try as much as possible not to make it easier for these people. Again, be careful online with what you talk about. Don't talk about what plans you're making and anything, because like I said, they're data mining these forums. Don't suffer from any delusions about it. They know what's going on because they're watching people's conversations.
JP Black says, hey everybody, Walmart is watching those that buy toilet paper. They know who's wiping or not.
Especially on 4chan.
I have a bidet, so I wipe, but probably less than you plebs who don't have a bidet. Get a bidet. Have a clean ass.
People think that they're anonymous. There is no true anonymity from the government entities. If they want to know who you are, they'll find out. Just be wise. All right, guys, as always, God bless. And if you so choose to, get right with the Lord Jesus, because I don't believe there's a whole lot of time to be fooling around.
Yeah, Christians say that all the time. I'm aware.
Research the word Cenomix. Okay? Cenomix is a transnational company that creates flavor enhancement for products for transnational companies like Pepsi, Kraft, Nestle, Campbell's. And what they've been doing is that they grabbed kidney cells from human aborted fetuses. So they grab these kidney cell lines, las células sanguíneas de los riñones de bebés abortados, and in laboratory they replicate these cells and they put them in all your products. Lo ponen en los productos. What products are we talking about? Well, we're talking about your Gatorade.
Why are you under the impression that human is in Gatorade?
Drink some aborted babies. Yes, seriously. We're talking about Lay's chips. Yeah, that's why they taste so good, don't they? Pepsi products, all right? Tropicana juices, Dasani water, Minute Maid. We have to not consume anything from these companies. and tell them that we're going to participate in their insane rituals.
They sell the eyes for about $1,000 a pair. They sell the brain for about $2,000.
Sir, like, people who donate their bodies to science... Yeah. Let me actually clarify something. One second.
They sell the heart, the lungs, the liver, the kidneys.
I don't know how labs and stuff determine who gets what when people donate their bodies to science, but if it's commodified, that doesn't surprise me. We live in a capitalist society, and it's unfortunate, but, like, I don't understand what you find particularly nefarious. They're not killing people for things, for organs, for scientific experiments. People donate their bodies to science, which is a cool thing to do. M. Scheffler says, 100% my brain is not worth that much.
And they even sell the arms and the legs. They're selling your aborted baby, your own flesh and blood.
Not anymore.
You think about that. This is something that people don't usually hear about. It's hidden in the industry. They don't want you to know about this. And they use this kind of terminology, one-time medical termination.
I don't give a shit. It's medical waste. It either gets thrown in a fucking incinerator, or if it can be used for some research or for some medical purpose, I hope it is.
It only takes one time to abort a child.
The discovery of horse meat disguised as beef in burgers and lasagnas has kicked off a crisis. Emergency summits have been convened in the UK and France, and the race is on to find the source of what one British minister called an international criminal conspiracy.
At supermarkets like this one, up and down the country, consumers are thinking twice about what they buy. Products now known to contain horse meat have been taken off the shelves. But, as we await further DNA tests, no one can be sure what's in their food.
Why is it about horse meat? That didn't say anything about people meat. Horse isn't people, and people aren't horses. Tea with Goblin says, I grew up in the UK during the mad cow scare in the 90s, so I'm ineligible to donate my body to science. I only just got cleared to donate blood this year, as Monty Python's Graham Chapman once said. I left my body to science, but I'm afraid they've turned it down. MH Dark Beast says, frozen lasagna, now with extra aborted baby meat. Yummy.
South Korean authorities say they plan to crack down on the illegal smuggling of so-called human flesh capsules. The pills contain parts of human fetuses or infants and are believed to be sold as stamina enhancement drugs.
That's really stupid if someone's doing that. Eating a fetus isn't going to do anything for you.
Today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
Continuing here, Natural News reports.
Natural News is a rag. It's literally a conspiracy outlet. Fanakigami says horses aren't real, so horse meat must be code for people.
Oklahoma lawmaker wants to stop Pepsi from using aborted fetuses cells in soda flavoring research. This is out of Natural News. And it is confirmed Pepsi has a division that is involved in using fetal parts. But what I can confirm is that it's in most of the vaccines. That's 100% confirmed. There is a potential that there are companies that are using aborted human babies in their research and development of basically enhancing flavor for artificial flavors.
Tea with Goblin says, hey Hannah, what do gay horses eat? Hey, I heard that in the early 2000s. It's probably an old joke. Meatball spaghetti.
I'll tell you it's
Soylent Green is people!
We gotta stop them!
That's part 2. That's... Nope. Can't play that. Avant Gardener with 13 months says tinfoil. Can we go over the bingo card? We can. Good call. I think we had Illuminati Freemasons, 5D. Recording in car. Giants, I guess. I only showed it for like 5 seconds, but still. QAnon claimed as a source. Baja Blasts for what she just said in the chat. Clintons. Adrenochrome. Pretty sure that's it for this page. Satanic. Holographic and or fake sun/sky. Avant Gardener says, does watching a Blair video count for Illuminati space? No. I know you're making a joke, but Tartaria. Wait, did we cover? I don't think we actually covered the Tartaria stuff, did we? We did briefly. Was Tartaria mentioned? I'll count it. I think it counts. I think that's it. Thanks, Cassifel, for the link. Let me pull it up. You did a good job. You kept the bulge, though. Respect for keeping the bulge. People who can draw are so insanely like, how do people do this?
All I'm offering is the truth.
Believe they speak to aliens regularly because the Indigo kids, they're remembering false memories. Did they say that they think they regularly talk to them?
Nothing.
Good evening, everyone. I wanted to do a really quick video on the difference between sunlight and daylight, and also one of the main things I want to point out in this video, especially to flat earthers, not globe earthers, but some flat earthers believe that when they look up at the blue sky that they're seeing the waters above the firmament, the blue ocean water above the firmament. And I've heard several flat earthers seem to believe that, and I've heard several flat earthers say that. And that is just not the case. That is not a fact at all. And in order to understand that, you have to understand the difference between sunlight, daylight, and how the sun excites the photons of the noble gases in the atmosphere, causing the different colors of the sky that you see, especially the color blue. And that's also why you do not see the color blue once you get above the Earth's atmosphere, as you can see here at 120,000 feet. And that's because that blue neon color comes from the noble gases that the Earth's atmosphere is made up of. And as the sun passes over those noble gases, it excites the photons in those noble gases, causing the different neon colors that you see, which mainly is blue, and you'll see some pink, purple, orange, red, yellows sometimes, especially at sunset, which I'm going to show you here in a video just a second. But the only reason you see blue and all the other colors is because you're standing on the earth looking up. You cannot see the blackness on the other side of the atmosphere when the sun is passing through the atmosphere, exciting the photons in the noble gases. And you also cannot see the stars. If you are above the clouds, above the...
You don't see the stars, again, doesn't understand how cameras work on the bingo card. You don't see stars because of exposure. The exposure is set for Earth and the sun.
atmosphere, you cannot see the stars if the sun is close to you, like it is here. But if the sun is further away from you, as you can see here, you can see the stars just above the atmosphere. And right here, I'm going to show you one more example. In this video, we are above the atmosphere, but the sun is right above us, and we're going right underneath the sun.
No, you're not going right underneath the sun. The sun is millions and millions of miles away.
And right as that sun starts to get over us and behind us a little bit, you'll start to see these stars come into view once...
Again, that's an exposure thing.
The brightness of the sun.
Your auto exposure in this image, or whatever exposure, is changing because the bright sun is no longer in frame.
Sun is not blocking them out anymore. So now that you understand that there is no blue sky once you get above the Earth's atmosphere, now I'm going to show you the difference between sunlight and daylight.
And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night."
I have come to the conclusion that daylight and sunlight are two different lights.
Well, that's a really stupid thing that you believe. That's unfortunate. I'm sorry.
Just as the Bible says, sunlight being the light we see when we look at the sun, a yellowish white light that is direct light, a line of sight light, the cause of shadows. The second light is daylight, which is a diffused light, a glowing, scattered light with limited range, which consists of many visible different colors.
Holy shit, this guy's a dumbass. This is legitimately one of the worst flat earth explanations for anything I've ever heard. You think that there are two suns that give off different kinds of light? No! Straight up fucking no!
Once you get above the ozone layer, 12 to 18 miles up, the invert gases will separate according to the atomic weight. Helium, neon, and argon all rise above the ozone layer and layer out
Mew, thanks for gifting us up.
themselves. Now the diffused light, which you see here, comes from these layers of invert gases that separate in the perfect, calm, and absolute cold once high enough. And the electromagnetic field of the close passing sun is exciting these inert gases. And these gases, when excited, emit photons, which you know is light. Now, if you change the voltage, temperature, or the pressure, or its elemental neighbor, and you change the color and intensity of the diffused light. Now let's focus on electricity and argon. Argon and neon are the third and fifth most abundant element in the composition of air. There is more argon than neon, and there is more neon than ozone, methane, and carbon monoxide combined. Now, all of the colors that you see here can be produced with just neon. A full...
He thinks that the color we see in the sky is neon illuminating? No! No!
spectrum of light with all the noble gases. Now the shadow here is actually a convergent line.
God damn. Okay. I'm already over it. By the way, sometimes I just search random stuff on BitChute to try and find conspiracies, because you never know. And I searched Arby's. Couldn't find a single Arby's conspiracy. It's a shame, really, when you think about it. I did find McDonald's conspiracy, which was the human in the McDonald's meat video from earlier, but no Arby's. Oh, that's like an anti-vax thing I didn't want to watch. Oh, another update on Project Looking Glass.
We're here today because there's an extraordinary thing happening at the end of the month. Frank Jacobs and Tanya Maidenford from Screen Addiction who are currently researching the Looking.
You have good news? Oh God, what is it? Steven Crowder announced his divorce. Oh yeah, we watched this video earlier. So that's good. Oh, fucking guy. Oh no, where'd the video go?
You there, small Victorian boy. Yeah.
No, that wasn't right. Where is it? Is it this one?
Glass technology. It's a technology that is used to peer into the future, to understand what are the possibilities that exist.
Steven Crowder's getting divorced. To be more accurate, Steven Crowder's wife is divorcing him. She initiated the divorce, probably because she was married to Steven Crowder. And I don't know if you know about that guy. Huge asshole. Huge asshole.
Bad and good, and how do we steer reality into those good places? And so they're coming here on the 29th to LightNet in Sedona to do a dinner, 50 people, and we were just sitting here talking about all sorts of cool technology, which we're going to put a video up on that. But you were also talking about Looking Glass and the different.
Did I hear about the most recent Elon nonsense about his fake account that he's using and pretending to be a son? I saw.
Consciousness technologies that exist, and also Frank's work.
Wasn't Crowder the voice of Brain and Arthur in one of the seasons? Yes, he was.
Yeah, so the Looking Glass technology originally was found in China, and this was back in the 1920s and 1930s when the Anna from the Third Reich was searching for advanced technology all around the world, so they recovered it from China. But they couldn't get it to operate. So it was eventually they made a trade with the Americans. I'm not sure what the Americans got, maybe officers or something during the war, to get that Looking Glass. So it eventually wasn't until the mid 1960s when they got it to operate. And it was my friend Dan McBolin who we did some session work together. He remote viewed it for me, and it's actually I got it on my Rumble channel from the Looking Glass technology. But what he described, it was on a military base, and there are different rings inside of rings, similar to what you saw in the movie with Jodie Foster. That's
right.
What, that apparently
Contact.
that was
Yeah,
the Contact. I think Contact movie, and so that was soft disclosure there. But I don't think it's actually that big.
Well, and then CERN is also existing, which is also along.
So. Well, CERN's a whole nother thing.
That is
CERN
nothing.
Was part of the negative side agenda. What they're trying to do is open up portals to communicate with beings to help them figure out the cabal, how to win.
I want to talk
the war.
to beings through a portal.
So the temporal war, whatever you want to call it. But so there's also the yellow cube device, which is from some of the I'm pretty sure that's gray technology. I have that put into report too. But the Looking Glass technology, it looks like the white hats are in control of it. So I don't really think like the negative side has it anymore. But what I can say is that the Looking Glass, because the white hats, the Looking Glass basically looks into the future based on your own consciousness. So the negative side, we're seeing a negative future. The positive side is seeing a positive future. So that's why I think the future is going to be positive now. But sorry about that. And so I guess now we can talk about some other technologies.
Yeah, you were mentioning there's other technologies to peer into our future and get that evolutionary curve, because so we can band together and create really cool stuff. And I don't even think the stuff that they're trying to do right now is working. I think they're moving up different things like Project Blue. We don't have to get into all the details, but I don't think this is working out the way that they thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
So this is good.
Yeah.
We're already winning here.
MISSP, no, actually this is my the Super Soldier presentation that I did here in Sedona this past week. I talked about some of the different types of advanced technology. One of the things we discussed is the consciousness chairs that were recovered from crash flying saucers.
Consciousness chairs?
So the navigation chair is used by a pilot that has certain psionic abilities, and they can open up portals, and these craft can go through portals. So,
like the pilot or the engineer from like Prometheus or Alien in the big chair.
When the military got a hold of this crashed saucer craft and pulled out the navigation chair, they put one of them anyway down at Montauk. So Montauk, there's actually 24 different places. It's not just at Montauk Point, Long Island. So the conscious chair, they can open up portals and they're traveling through time, and that's a whole another project. But what I can say is that the conscious chairs can be used also for a form of, there's something called a soul chair, which it looks like pink crystals, and you sit on it and you turn invisible. And your consciousness can transfer into an avatar on the spaceship, so that's very advanced.
What? Why do you turn invisible?
It's alien technology. Sorry, but for a while I thought that the SSP groups did not have the technology to pull your soul out, but apparently they do have the technology to transfer your soul consciousness. And there are some certain violations of the galactic, I don't know which universe that we are in, that basically that's a huge no-no, and there are some rules and all that. The Time Corp regulates that, but we can go down Time Corp, but I want to go.
So I was just going to interject.
Chromatic Cuttlefish says, peering into these people's future, I predict a great deal of goalpost shifting and perpetual disappointment at the lack of white hats persecuting people they don't like.
Real quick, that's, by the way, how the Keshe Foundation is doing the teleportation device. They call them transmutation devices, but basically they are using the GANS material to pull the soul out first, and then you bring the physical body second. So it is there. We are able to separate that. Obviously,
it's still wild to me that there are people that go around that believe in a literal soul, like it's a physical, literal thing that exists, not some metaphorical, poetic way of describing the essence of a person. No, they literally believe there's like a gaseous something in you, or whatever the fuck they think it is, that's like a thing, a soul. Good God.
Okay.
I guess you can use anything in a negative way. Like, yeah, you don't want your soul yanked out, but I guess isn't that what happens?
It seems like they must be raising the frequency of the body itself.
Why are you talking like none of this means anything? Don't talk like that means something.
Up to the higher dimension in order to do the work on it. That's my guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, the GANS material is almost like an interdimensional. It's not even like physically, totally in this realm. Is what we're looking at by.
They think Shang Tsung is a historical figure.
Analyzing GANS material. Like a plasma state of matter, but
yeah.
I'm not the expert on that. So, yeah. Okay, well, we got conscious chairs. There's also, of course, the remote viewing chairs in my presentation.
Tell me about the remote viewing chairs.
Well, you can not only can you project, some people can project their consciousness, but you can also create a doppelganger as well. And so that particular technology would be using the navigator chair from the trip seat, but it
from Flight of the Navigator? Okay, that's all the conspiracies I can handle. No one won bingo. We've almost been 3 hours and we got a ton and no one won bingo. Why? What did you do? Okay, I'm just gonna gift it randomly then, because no one won. If it wants to work. One of these days, I'm going to accidentally hit the 100 gift subs button. It's going to be terrible. Alright, let's do a quick cleanse of some kind, and then we'll call it a night. Ew.
Continuing with our boiling steak and things adventures, we're gonna do boiling steak in classic margarita mix. Oh, hey, let's kill two birds with one stone.
Sure.
Here.
I mean, if you boil it, it's gonna burn off. It's gonna boil off the alcohol. Whatever. It's a video.
It smells like the inside of a senor frog. Here we go.
Oh God, it's alcohol, you idiot! Don't.
It slipped out of my fingers. Well, anyway, we're gonna give this 15 minutes instead of the usual 10 and see how that does. It's floating. All right, let's take it out and give it a sear. And what tequila's not complete without a little bit of salt and pepper? Let's cut it open, see how we did. Well, going for 15 minutes is clearly a mistake. That is well done, on its way to congratulations right there. Here we go! It's not good. I don't know if it's the sourness of it or what's going on. It tastes like if sour mix went bad. You know what? It's the tequila that's doing it. It's that lingering sweetness accompanied by the sourness that's not good. I'm gonna have to give the steak boiled in margarita mix a 1 out of 5.
No, the mix isn't alcoholic. He poured tequila in the mix when he started it. But no, margarita mix is not alcoholic. It's all the non-alcoholic stuff in a margarita. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Should be back tomorrow. Don't know what we'll be covering, but I'm sure it'll be fun. So I will see you guys then. Lennon Cat says, okay, but well done on its way to congratulations is clever. I've heard that before. Why won't this come off? I'm free of the bandana. Alright, have a good night, everyone. Mr. Blast, I don't know if you're here. If you are, love you. And that's it. We'll be back tomorrow. See you guys later. Oh, kitty. Oh, she will not be abated by me moving her. She says no. Demand attention. Demand. Do you hear that purr? She's rubbing the microphone with her face. Alright, see you guys later.